degrees. We have some clouds this morning. 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Cook County prosecutors are expected to toss out convictions of 15 men today who claim they were framed by a corrupt former Chicago police sergeant, Ronald Watts, and members of his organization. Today's announcement comes 2 months after lawyers for the men filed a joint petition seeking to overturn 18 criminal drug convictions. Joshua Tepfer of the Exoneration Project says today's announcement, in his words, is historic.
This corruption was covered up and by the highest levels of the Chicago Police Department.
All of the men claim they were shaken down for cash or drugs by rogue officers. Watts has already served prison time for stealing money from a drug-dealing informant in 2011. A man sent to prison for a double murder in Chicago is free this morning for spending nearly 30 years behind bars. Jose Masonette walked out of the Cook County Jail last night. Prosecutors dropping charges after 5 former officers indicated they would plead the fifth and refused to testify at his upcoming trial. A woman is receiving a large payout after she says she was sexually assaulted in May at the Cook County Courthouse in Markham. County commissioners approved a $3.25 million settlement yesterday. The department has moved to fire 9 courthouse employees as a result of the incident. Well, did you maybe try to throw your cell phone up against the wall yesterday if you're an AT&T customer? Well, customers around the country are being simply told to reboot your cell phone. Downdetector.com and outage reports say thousands of users in L.A., New York, Chicago, and St. Louis were unable to make calls. AT&T was barraged with complaints on social media, many coming from here in Chicago, and they tweeted back saying simply, if you experience an issue, restart your device. Superintendent of a Des Plaines school district stepping down following allegations that he sexually harassed coworkers. The District 62 board announcing last night Dr. Floyd Williams would resign December 13th. Authorities continue the search for a missing Mokina woman. Will County Sheriff's Office says Caitlin Kearns was last seen early Monday leaving her job at a bar in Joliet. Jeannie Ives continues to tell Republicans statewide there is an alternative to Governor Rauner. Ives, the conservative state rep from Chicago's suburbs, challenging the governor on the Republican ticket campaign in the Quad Cities yesterday. Mayor Emanuel yesterday refused to rule out the need for a major fare hike by the CTA. AM 560's David Stewart has details.
The RTA is recommending that the CTA raise fares next year to make up for a cut in state funding and sales tax revenue. Mayor Emanuel isn't ruling it out, but he says the agency should seek other savings before talking about fare hikes.
There'll be no service cuts. 2, I want you to report back what is in the central office that can be eliminated, cut, or pulled back from. And until that's done, there will be no discussion with me.
It's been 8 years since a general CTA fare increase. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
A well-respected website says Atlanta is in the driver's seat to win the bidding war for Amazon's second North American headquarters. According to bestplaces.net, they look at all the rankings, and that website spokesperson is Ted Sperling.
Definitely Detroit has a chance. This is just sort of kind of a best guess from what people are guessing. So,
bestplaces.net ranks the top 64 cities in the running for the Amazon expansion. And now Sperling says Detroit and Chicago are not in the top spots for the running here in the Midwest right now. However, Chicago does make the top 5, along with Boston, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. Blackhawks score 5 times in the third period. They cool off the Rangers with a 6-3 win at the United Center. Artem Anisimov notching a hat trick for Chicago. The Bulls' offense was dreadful early on in a 92-79 loss to the Thunder in OKC. The Bulls shot just under 35% from the field. College football here on AM 560 last night. Nice win for NIU. Our Huskies moved to 8-3 with a 35-31 win over the Broncos of Western Michigan. College hoops, Northwestern fell to a very good Creighton team, 92-88. Cats lose in spite of 30 from Vic Law. Tonight, number 14 Notre Dame will host Chicago State. The American and National League Cy Young Awards go to a couple of hurlers who've won it before. Indians ace Corey Kluber wins his second AL Cy Young. Nationals pitcher Max Scherzer is the NL winner. He picks up his third trophy. The news, a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. 4,000 ASE certified techs at Firestone Complete Auto Care have the state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer, longer. Get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Whenever you drive a Firestone. 5:07 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't surprised by the media's behavior anymore.
And of course, the media corruption on this is unbelievable. If you're going to report breathlessly on the indictment of Paul Manafort and this guilty plea by Papadopoulos, how do you not include in your media coverage what we found out about the Clinton campaign and the DNC? But they don't even mention it in the media coverage right now. Shocking. The media is corrupt. I know that's news to you, huh?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Check out GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. GalloLiquidators.com. That's GALLO Liquidators.com. Gallo reprocesses store returns, closeouts, and shelf pulls, then lists them online starting at just $1. Auctions begin every Thursday, featuring a constantly changing variety of merchandise, tools, antiques, electronics, housewares, and much, much more. GalloLiquidators.com. It's an easy-to-use online platform featuring store returns from some of the nation's largest retailers at a fraction of the price to you, the customer. Pickup location is just blocks from downtown St. Charles. Families love coming in every weekend to pick up their auction winnings. Gallo also accepts all types of consignments. Nationwide shipping is now available. Don't miss out. Visit GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. That's GalloLiquidators.com. GALLO Liquidators.com.
Hiring is important, but finding the right people can be a real challenge. That's why ZipRecruiter is obsessed with finding you qualified candidates fast. ZipRecruiter finds candidates with the right experience and notifies them to apply for your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
One size fits all has no place in your bedroom. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of Helix Sleep, and we know one mattress can't work for everyone. That's why we created the only mattress built for you. Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep quiz, and we'll build your custom mattress and ship it to you for free. Try it for 100 nights, and if it's not the best sleep you've ever had, we'll pick it up and give you your money back. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now, and we'll give you $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
5:10. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim Talamonte this morning. Here's Dominic Fortini.
So far, so good across our Chicago area expressways. Edens and Kennedy remain pretty quiet. Kennedy in at 20 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Meanwhile, on the outbound Ike, we've got a problem off on the right shoulder at Austin. An earlier crash still affecting crews who are on the scene. We've got some issues on inbound I-57 as well. Just a little bit hung up around Halstead with the construction, but everything else rolling well. Traffic's a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. The 4,000 ASE certified technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care have state-of-the-art tools to keep your car running newer, longer. Get $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Whatever you drive a Firestone. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, clouds and sun, high 41. Overcast night, low 33. Breezy with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow, little afternoon rain with a high 44. Then periods of rain and a thunderstorm at night. Low tomorrow night, 43. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
32 at O'Hare, 34 along the lakefront, 33. The other big airport, Midway. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and we got another Roy Moore accuser.
Oh, 3 more from yesterday.
Well, they're qualitatively different. Let's start with someone who accuses him of inappropriate touching.
While he was married?
That's a legitimate issue. This is Tina Johnson. He was in his law office. Roy Moore, private attorney in private practice, and she went to see him about custodial paperwork per a pending divorce.
Yeah, she was signing over custody of her youngest son to her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So her mom was in the room as well.
Then her mom leaves, and she says from the beginning, Moore was very flirtatious, very complimentary. He came around from behind his desk and sat very close to her. She describes him sitting so close she could smell his breath.
But he complimented her. He said, I love, your eyes are beautiful. Do your daughters have the same color eyes as you? He was asking her questions. I mean, to me, that happens. That's not vicious, over-aggressive behavior, but whatever.
Uh-huh. Well, she describes it as making her feel uncomfortable. Ultimately, when the meeting is adjourned, Mom is outside. She's walking out, and he says Roy Moore grabbed her buttocks.
Reenact it. Grab the buttocks. Well, she said it wasn't a pinch, that he actually grabbed it.
Mm-hmm.
And
he didn't pinch it. He grabbed it, is her direct quote.
Right. And it's the first public, accusation of physical contact that happened while Moore was married. So I don't know. If you're looking at her past, I mean, she's pled guilty to writing bad checks, third-degree theft of property.
Objection, Your Honor. Prejudicial.
Okay. Well, I would think everybody should know the whole story, but
Prior bad acts have no.
Okay. All right.
Are not germane.
Mm-hmm. And then 2 more have come forward. Can I introduce you to another lady?
Uh-huh.
Well, these were 2 teenagers at the time. One worked at Sears in the mall. This mall must have been a hopping place. I mean, the mall.
Well, they said this mall
in
in Gadsden. They said this mall there was like a teenage hangout.
Yeah, and so
It's
he
not
was
unusual.
at the Sears in the textile department. And there was this gorgeous 17-year-old girl working there. He asked for her number, and she said no. And so then he left. 2 days later, while she was in trigonometry class, somebody said, "You've got a phone call in the front office."
Mm-hmm.
She went to the front office. Lo and behold, it was Roy Moore on the line.
And he said, "I would like my sign to meet up with your cosign." Thank you. Little trig reference.
You know what?
Thank you very much.
That's great. That's
Thank
good
you.
stuff. And he asked her out again, and she said, he's kind of, no, she didn't use the word aggressive, but he was, persistent. He wanted to go on a date with her, and she said no. That's Gina Richards. Now introduce Becky Gray. She also worked at, Dan?
The mall in Gadsden.
Yeah, she worked at the mall. And apparently by the way, back to Gina. They did go out on one date, and she said at the end it ended with a forced kiss, and that's it. Becky Gray, he also persisted, asked her out. She said no, never went on a date with him. But these aren't sexual misconduct allegations. But CNN keeps saying there's now 9 accusers in the Roy Moore case. No, there's the 14-year-old woman who came out first. Then there's Beverly Young Nelson. And that's it.
Well, now there's Tina Johnson, who, I mean,
Tina Johnson,
it's an inappropriate touching. That's not an unserious thing.
All right.
In addition to that, though, you're right. There are different levels of accusation. There's no question about that. But it does sort of paint a picture, doesn't it? As this broadcaster predicted would come to pass. It's coming to pass. So, yes, these other matters in and of themselves perhaps are not conclusive, but do you think this is all these women are independently conspiring against Roy Moore, or do you think Gloria Allred or George Soros or the Democrat Party or Mitch McConnell is behind all this, orchestrating this like some maestro? Does anybody really believe that? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. I mean,
Well,
these are the same people that can't, manage to accomplish much in life, but they can pull this caper off.
Or do people just want their, 15 seconds in the sun? I know. I mean, this Gina Richards for coming forward is strange. And she even said to him, "Do you know that I'm only 17 years old?" And she claims that he replied, "Yes, that's the age group of the women that I date."
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, his attorney, lawyer Philip Gergali, I know I just butchered his name. He
the name assassinator.
Yes, that's
how Amy Jacobson, a.k.a. the name assassinator.
He believes that yearbook signing may have been forged, that's not Roy Moore's signature, and he wants the actual yearbook for a handwriting analysis.
We have a handwriting expert, that's looking at those. But here's the problem. A handwriting expert can't look at a copy on the internet, right? They've got to look at an original. So right now, Trent Garman, our attorney, has sent a letter, or is sending a letter, to Gloria Allred demanding that the yearbook be released. We'll send it to a neutral custodian who'll keep chain of custody, and our professional expert will examine it, and we'll find out, is it genuine or is it a fraud?
Mm-hmm.
Gloria Allred said that they did receive the letter. She said that they will hand it over to a third-party custodial, whatever, only if the Senate holds committee hearings, and they want to interview her client as well as Mr. Moore. Now, how does that happen?
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
That's how it happens. But here's the thing. Speaking of Roy Moore's lawyer, as if the creep factor wasn't nearing a departure from the charts at present, did you...
with Ali?
Did you see Mr. Garman on MSNBC with Ali Velshi?
Yeah, that's my buddy. I watched that yesterday and went, what?
Yeah.
What?
So
stay on message. What in the world is going on?
On this issue of a seeming profile of Roy Moore as someone who was trolling for teenage girls in his 30s and, again, accused of assaulting two that were underage, Mr. Garman responded thusly.
Why would he need permission from any of these girls' mothers if they weren't underage?
Sure, that's a good question. And culturally speaking, I would say there's differences. I looked up Allie's background there. Wow, that's awesome that you have got such a diverse background. It's really cool to read through that. But point is this:
what does Allie's
each culture
background
has
have to do with dating a 14-year-old?
I'm not finished with the context of it.
Well, please answer. What does Ali Velshi's background have to do with dating children, 14-year-old girls?
Sure. In other countries, there's arrangement through parents for what we would refer to as consensual marriage. So
Allie's from Canada.
I understand that. And Allie's also spent time in other countries, of which I've gone to. So it's not a bad thing.
I don't know where you're going with this, Trenton.
Stephanie, to answer, but here's to answer your question. So he said no, comma. So he answered no. And then he went on to say his process would be before he date anybody, whether they're 25, 35, or whether he doesn't know their age, he would ask the mother's permission. So he actually answered no. There's no inconsistency in that. And I stand by the answer. To me, it's the most appropriate, proper answer.
Yeah.
That was so bizarre.
Well, Ali Velshi has spent time in Kenya as well, which I guess is what
he's Muslim.
Yeah, Mr. Garman was referring to. I'll tell you, I don't find this particularly compelling to say in other cultures they greenlight child brides, and so somehow that is relevant to the case of Roy Moore in Alabama in the United States of America, because we don't do that.
No, but I think what the man was trying to say that in the South and during that time, people would ask the parents' permission to go on a date with your daughter. That was so common back then.
Yeah, but why
didn't he just say
that would have been fine if you would have limited to that.
Right.
But instead
that's what
he
I
made
was expecting him to say.
He made a cultural comparative. He did comparative cultures on child brides or child
and arranged marriages.
Dating children as an adult. I mean, these guys. I understand.
They are hurting him.
Well, I mean, Roy Moore's not doing himself any favors, and his counsel is not helping much either. Roy Moore also wrote this plaintiff letter to Sean Hannity.
Oh, that's right. The 24-hour response.
Yeah, he had 24 hours to explain his inconsistencies, and He repeated his denials. He talked about the 40 years in public office. He did reference the yearbook signature and talked about how the sevens in 1997 in one place were inconsistent with the sevens in 1977 in another place. We're in the process of investigating these false allegations to determine their origin and motivation. And I adamantly deny, and so on. And he also said he did not date underage girls. Okay.
Own it up. So what? It's legal. It's okay. And it's okay to be persistent and ask a woman out. Maybe not interrupt her during trigonometry class, but still, it's not illegal.
Yeah. There's the black letter of the law, and then there's appropriateness. There's morality that exists
girls
outside
in my
the
high
letter
school that dated
of the law.
40-year-olds. I'm not kidding you. Don't look at me. It was not me. But we had some girls that were their senior year. They were dating much older men.
Yeah.
One bought her a car. I don't know what she had to do for that car, but she got a car.
Okay. There's a note for you parents listening out there. Don't send your kids to Hershey. Yemi on the north side.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Morning.
Amy, I really appreciate about how you've been taking this whole issue. But Dan, I'm going to ask if you're going to emphasize more on the questions being raised by Roy Moore's lawyer. And again, what about those women that accused Donald Trump sometimes last year? Where are they right now?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Yemi. I appreciate it.
Speaking of Trump, this is what he did yesterday when reporters asked him about Roy Moore.
Should Roy Moore resign, Mr. President? Do you believe his accusers? Do you believe the accusers of Roy Moore, Mr. President? Should he resign?
He walked away. He didn't say a
Chris
word.
and Aurora, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, Dan, I think at least the way you sound, you've made up your mind here that you think Roy should step aside. But as an attorney, don't you think that we should get the information back from what these experts could do with the yearbook? And there's two things I think that we need to mention about the yearbook. If that ink is from a week ago, well, then that says a lot right there. If that ink is from 40 years ago, then fine. We are definitely know where we're at. But the thing that I think that you guys didn't play in that interview that was important was this. Whenever he signed his name, the person that was his assistant signed his name, her name was Debbie Adams, she would put DA. So during that time, he wasn't the district attorney. He was the assistant.
Right.
So he would have been ADA.
Yeah.
Now how they got that signature the way it is, they asked that lady whose yearbook it was, have you ever met Roy Moore before that? And she said no. She's never had any kind of encounters with him. I'm sorry, after that. She said no. Well, the problem is she did. She went before him in a divorce that she went, and he was the judge.
Yep.
So on the certificate that she had once her marriage was dissolved, that signature was on it that way, and Debbie Adams, one who wrote that, that's why it says DA, not for district attorney, for Debbie Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even think? Did you see the signatures? Do you even think they look alike, Dan?
Thanks for the call, Chris.
I mean, I know you're not a handwriting analysis, but
yeah,
expert,
I mean,
but,
I haven't poured over. I've looked at it. I've seen the memes that with the arrows that point to apparent inconsistencies in the signature.
You still believe her?
This is a shard of evidence in a case involving multiple women that are independent of one another, alleging similar things in different contexts with very specific fact patterns. So here's the thing. If you want to make the handwriting analysis argument or any of these other arguments that you're kind of trying to pick out something that seems like it may be vulnerable to cross-examination, then Roy Moore needs to go on the stand if we're going to continue using the legal analogy. And by that, I mean press conference, open-ended, all questions. He answers them to the best of his ability and lays out exactly what he understands to be true. And also, since this is a small community, and I suspect there are people who are just as old as Roy Moore, who's been there just as long as he has, some corroboration to the kind of person Roy Moore was back then. Who did he hang out with? Did he go to the restaurant that the then 16-year-old alleges he was a fixture at, where she was a waitress? There's Roy Moore is giving a blanket denial and making a general accusation that it's a political hit job.
On Twitter, all he's doing is tweeting out comments from other people saying what a great boss he was, what a strong man, good family man.
And I'm sure different people had different experiences with Roy Moore, but he needs to present something that addresses the specifics of some of these allegations and people that I would say were in his sphere at the time. If you want to respond in any way that could possibly be compelling to the mountain of allegations that continues to pile up.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Hey, there's a party going on over at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Get off the couch and put your dancing shoes on. Your private dance lessons begin at the Fred Astaire Dance Studio in Burr Ridge with a deal that includes 4 private dance lessons and bonus group classes. This is almost a $400 value for only $180. Or dip your toe in with a dance package that includes 1 private class, 1 group class, and 1 dance party. Only $85. It's normally $165. And now that you've learned some dance moves, and you can add piano lessons from American Music World in Forest Park. 8 30-minute lesson series, normally $100. At ChicagoRadioDeals.com, it's yours for only $50. That's $6.25 a lesson. Of course, you'll need a piano, so American Music World is renowned for its dazzling array of pianos. So go to ChicagoRadioDeals.com for all these fun deals and more. That's ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender means choosing much more than just a rate. Let me ask you, does calling the company with the best client service in America, with 11 J.D. Power Awards to prove it, matter? Does calling the company that invented Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative, client-focused technology, matter? Does calling the company with 17,000-plus team members who are helping to rebuild the great cities of Detroit and Cleveland matter? Of course it matters. No wonder our clients have made Quicken Loans America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com for the best mortgage experience on earth. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
AM 560. The Answer.
That picture that you tweeted out of me yesterday is a friendship breaker. You can't
What are you talking about?
I looked disgusting.
I took up. You saw me take the picture of you with your big trophy. Your
Yeah,
big
but I
championship
thought you
trophy.
would. Don't we have an unwritten rule where you show me the picture before you tweet the
What do you
picture
mean?
out?
Don't you know how you look?
Yeah, like
At
10 miles of bad road.
5 o'clock in the morning.
That was a horrible picture.
Oh.
Hashtag ugly Amy is what I saw.
Hey, what's on the inside? It's all what's on the inside.
Sure.
Yeah, you want people to like
Lot of
you for your
haters out there.
mind,
Yeah.
not your rapper.
I went to bed at 5 o'clock last night so that I could get better, and it did work.
Yeah, look,
I'm still sick.
Radiant.
Yeah.
This morning.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, we'll pick up the Roy Moore conversation, give some other people a chance to weigh in. And an excellent piece in the New York Times I want to review, Bethany Mandel's piece, How Roy Moore Reminds Her of Her Rabbi. That's at 5:38.
And later, President Trump gets the thank you that he asked for from those UCLA players. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 32 outside and sexual harassment allegations piling up against Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore. AL.com is also reporting new allegations from women claiming they were harassed by Moore. Moore's attorney telling reporters he's been with Moore in the presence of thousands of women.
And not once, not one time, have I ever seen him act even remotely inappropriate against any woman.
Another woman tells the AL.com website when she was 17 and a hostess at a Red Lobster restaurant, Moore came into that restaurant and asked her out. Senate Republicans defending their plan to repeal a key part of Obamacare in their big tax bill. Opening a hearing yesterday, Utah Republican Orrin Hatch.
By the way, the individual mandate isn't just any tax. It's a terribly regressive tax that imposes harsh burdens on low and middle-income taxpayers.
Friend of the show, Wisconsin's Ron Johnson, the first Republican senator to voice opposition to parts of that tax plan.
Again, I was asked, can you support the current Senate version? I wouldn't vote for it. It's just that simple, but doesn't mean I don't want to, vote for a real solution.
And new this morning, just coming out of Washington, a proposal, a new tax break for businesses that gives workers paid family leave has been placed into that Senate Republican tax bill. It is a proposal by Senator Deb Fischer of Nebraska. An 18-year veteran of the Baltimore Police Department is in grave condition following a shooting in Baltimore, where Commissioner Kevin Davis says the homicide detective was following up on an investigation.
Our 18-year homicide veteran approached this man to engage him in conversation. At some point in time thereafter, our 18-year veteran homicide detective was shot in the head.
That officer is on full life support this morning. Robert Mugabe clinging to some form of power in Zimbabwe, insisting he's still the ruler. However, the 93-year-old president was reportedly ousted in a military-led coup Wednesday. Mass murderer Charles Manson is in a California hospital in grave condition. The 83-year-old Manson is serving a life sentence for ordering the brutal killings of 7. Federal judge grants Philadelphia's request for an injunction against Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The judge found Philadelphia is not a sanctuary city, and Sessions cannot withhold a federal law enforcement grant. Over 1,500 people are homeless after a rare earthquake toppled buildings in South Korea Wednesday. Cook County prosecutors are expected to toss out convictions of 15 men today who claim they were framed by a corrupt former Chicago Police Sergeant Ronald Watts. And the superintendent of a Des Plaines school district is stepping down following allegations that he sexually harassed co-workers. Blackhawks cool off the Rangers with a 6-3 win at the UC. Well, the Bulls' offense was dreadful in a loss to the Thunder in OKC, 92-79. The news, a service of Chevrolet. It's the Chevy closeout, and the 2017s are going fast. Find special closeout pricing on many of their most popular 2017 Chevy models. Visit your local Chevy dealer and trade up to a new car, truck, or crossover today. Chevrolet, find new roads. 5:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Ready for a bad cold and flu season? A cold is a cold, but flu brings fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, backed by medical professionals everywhere.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. America's strength is that she's a free nation. Our weakness is we've stopped defending the foundations of our freedom. Non-behavioral characteristics like race and religion take precedence over shared beliefs as it relates to who is granted entrance to America, to the extent permission is required at all. This in spite of the fact that there is plenty of identity diversity that occurs naturally within a global population that shares a common commitment to peaceful pluralism. The temperature in K-12 is approaching Fahrenheit 451 as school districts move to ban literary masterworks like To Kill a Mockingbird, because the language may offend. A recent survey of college undergrads finds 1 in 5 believes violence is acceptable to silence someone who makes a hurtful statement. Private property is seized by the state if you refuse to participate in events that violate your religious beliefs. You make too little. You make too much. You don't pay enough. You didn't build that. You need not apply. You must check your privilege. You must use these pronouns. You can't use those words. As Thomas Paine wrote, what we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. If we continue to acquiesce to those who would cheapen our freedoms, we will all pay dearly.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher & Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher & Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
It is 5:38 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Still pretty quiet across much of the area. Inbound Kennedy, we've got a crash blocking the left lane at Addison. Eisenhower okay. Inbound Stevenson, tapping the brakes. Harlem to Pulaski, 35 minutes from 355 into the drive. Inbound Ryan, just a tad slow at 31st. Inbound I-57, stop and go beginning near 107th, thanks to the road work in the area. And the inbound Bishop Ford seeing some extra traffic right near Stony Island. Traffic's a service of Rogers and Hollins Jewelers. It's the Bean, it's Fields, and it will always be Sears Tower. Don't mess with Chicago icons. That's why they love Rogers and Hollins Jewelers. For over 100 years, it's the name Chicago trusts for fine quality jewelry, unique collections, and unbeatable protection plans. Use promo code FOREVER and save 10% online. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Breezy day ahead, much cooler. Times of clouds and sun and a high of 41. Currently 33 at O'Hare, 34 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
Joe Walsh here. I don't care what Hannity says. I don't care what CNN says. I don't care what Paul Ryan says. I don't care what Donald Trump says. It's up to Roy Moore and Alabama voters. We'll talk about it when freedom returns at 5.
Dan and Amy, well, there's evasive action being at least plotted or considered by Senate Republicans, including, according to a Politico story yesterday, asking Luther Strange, the appointee to the Senate seat, pending the special election, to step down with the idea that would trigger a new special election.
Okay.
So,
I hadn't heard that one before.
So, they're searching and...
Well, the Alabama GOP had an emergency meeting last night, and guess what was accomplished? Absolutely nothing.
Well,
they're
governor,
still standing behind Roy Moore.
Governor Ivey is not inclined to push back the special election. Don't know, because I'm not an expert in Alabama election law, the possibility of if a Luther Strange did resign his post, if that would trigger a separate and distinct special election that would nullify the December 12th special election. I assume that's a legal question that's being explored. But otherwise, we're tracking towards December 12th because Roy Moore is defiant and he continues to campaign. But there is a poll out yesterday that has him down 12 points.
Ooh.
So, the idea that there's some boomerang effect that's going to happen for Roy Moore, maybe it still will, but it's not happening right now. He is suffering politically under the weight of these allegations. There's no question about that.
In his defense, he did take to Twitter yesterday and had, these testimonials from women he used to date. Just real quickly, here's Jeannie. She's from Birmingham, Alabama. She says, I've known Roy Moore for about 40 years. Roy and I briefly dated when I was in my 20s. While I was around Roy, either just the two of us or with other people, he was always a true gentleman, treating me with respect and courtesy. I can honestly say that I've never have seen or heard any inappropriate remarks or behaviors while this man was around me.
Well, of course, that's the same thing Roy Moore's wife of 30 years plus says. So,
well, he did date people. I mean, he did. Even the woman at the Red Lobster he tried to take out when she told him, hey, you know, I'm 17. He said, yeah, I go out with girls your age all the time. I mean, he was obviously, he was a man looking for a woman.
It's possible that that the women in question had different experiences with Roy Moore.
Or they processed it differently.
Well,
except for the two who claimed.
Well, you're not. Yeah, you're not processing something differently with the allegations that the 16-year-old waitress made of what happened in that car. You're not processing it differently when you're a 14-year-old girl and you've got an adult that is fondling you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you believe that, I mean, I'm still.
Well, right. If you believe that. By the way, just as an aside, Roy Moore's assistant DA.
Yeah.
Scott Adams, our friend Scott Adams, the creator of the Dilbert cartoon series. Moore had an assistant DA named Dilbert Adams. It's not apropos of nothing. It's just kind of funny. And Scott Adams pointed it out. I don't know, Dilbert Adams. So here's the piece I wanted to get to. This is Bethany Mandel, because one of the things I think is happening is that the more vociferous defenders of Roy Moore are doing so because he's been an outspoken advocate for Christianity. And they don't want to lose an outspoken advocate for Christianity. And they think perhaps he's being persecuted because of that. Let me ask this question, though. Do you really want Roy Moore to continue to be an outspoken advocate for Christianity on a bigger stage? And this goes 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. And this goes to Bethany Mandel's piece in the New York Times. Roy Moore reminds me of my rabbi. Her rabbi, Barry Frundell, led a congregation in Washington. She writes, in 2014, on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish holiday, Rabbi Barry Frundell led the congregation of his Washington synagogue in pursuit of humble repentance before God. 10 days later, he was arrested and charged with dozens of counts of voyeurism. Ultimately, the rabbi was accused of having surreptitiously videotaped more than 150 women on hidden cameras in the bathroom of the mikveh, the ritual bath. There is something particularly insidious about being victimized by a man who claims to be righteous, writes Mandel. When someone like Barry Frundell violates you, you aren't just robbed of your dignity and your safety, you're also robbed of your faith and very often your religious community, which can view you as the real betrayer of the faith for speaking out. So going to Roy Moore, she writes, for those believers, losing Roy Moore means losing an outspoken voice for traditional Christian values. He rose to prominence in the evangelical world for giving up his bench as a judge, not once but twice, for placing his religious beliefs ahead of his judicial duties. His defenders argue that not voting for Moore and therefore losing a Republican Senate seat and possibly control the Senate could lead to worse outcomes for Christians than simply holding their noses and electing him to office. They could not be more mistaken. The damage that will be done to the Republican brand and those Christians who watch their religious leaders stand by Moore will be irreversible. If he wins, the Republicans may have a reliably conservative vote in the Senate, but one thing is guaranteed. Religious leaders who defend him risk their flock being infected with the same disenchantment I was after the arrest of my rabbi. Religious leaders often fret that creeping faithlessness puts society at risk more than any political ideology. As someone put it in 2006, a prominent evangelical put it in 2006, quote, our peace and happiness as well as our prosperity depend not on any political party or any great leader, but upon a return as a nation to faith in Almighty God. You know who said that? Roy Moore.
Oh.
So what Roy Moore wrote in 2006 in the Washington Times column, our peace and happiness as well as our prosperity depend not on any political party or any great leader, but rather upon a return as a nation to faith in Almighty God. By the way, Bethany Mandel is a conservative, too, just for context here. Very interesting piece, and I think she makes an important point for people of faith who are defending Roy Moore because he's been an outspoken person of faith
consider the implications of that defense. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Dan, I dialed before you got onto the Bethany Mandel article. I was calling to comment on the Politico article that you referenced, how the party and leaders down in Alabama are looking to move elections, rejig elections by asking for resignations. And my comment to that was, I think it's a real scary time that we're in, where the electorate, in my opinion, can no longer be trusted to even make proper decisions. I would go back to the Republican presidential primary. I thought we had a lot of candidates there, and the electorate chose otherwise. And now we have the situation here where, in spite of, even before these allegations, my thoughts on Roy Moore were that he wasn't qualified, and the electorate's not backing down.
Well, they are backing down because he wouldn't be down 12 points in a state as red as Alabama if they weren't backing down.
I'd like to see it at under 0, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Tom. I mean, one thing I would say, one thing in addition to in terms of moving elections and trying to game the rules, this is not a defense of it. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but you have to not like it across the board. So famous moving of a primary election, I know because I was in it, and it didn't help me, by the way, was in 2010 when Mike Madigan moved the Illinois primary up a month from the second, the second or third Tuesday in March to the first Tuesday in February to help Barack Obama, candidate for president.
Why he did. Okay.
So, the moving a political party in states, elections are state and local exercises, generally speaking, political party playing games with the election calendar is hardly anything new here.
But what if the election's December 13th? What if the seat does go Democratic? How is that going to affect the tax plan? I mean, we can't lose any seats in the Senate to a Democrat.
Well, they better vote on it before that special election at this juncture. Dan in Libertyville.
Hello, I'm very upset, Dan, with your inability to see what's going on here. There is a Democrat push to get Roy Moore out. And this idea of age and what everybody's talking about, he was trying to date 17-year-old girls. When I was 17 years old, I was in the U.S. Army carrying an M16 machine gun, okay? I was allowed to kill people at 17, but 17-year-old girls aren't allowed to have sex? This idea of going back 40 years with a woman who says that she did not have contact with him, but yet allowed him to be the judge presiding over her divorce case. If this traumatic thing happened, she would have asked for a change of venue. No one's talking about that. That she allowed this guy to continue as a judge. I think you're doing a hack job on Roy Moore.
Yeah, Dan,
you're convicting him before the real truth has came out.
So hold on a second. So two things here. One is, if this was about perhaps seemingly inappropriate but not alleged illegal activity, it would be a different case. My focus is actually on the two women who allege sexual assault, including a 14-year-old girl. That's my focus. So you're not addressing that, number one.
The
14-year-old girl had him as a judge for the divorce case. Am I wrong?
The 16-year-old girl had him. The girl that claimed he fondled her in a car behind the restaurant, Beverly Young Nelson, she had him.
And this idea that, he's so terrible. He asked a girl out for a date at the Red Lobster. I mean, for crying out loud, man, you're going to have it ask a woman out on a date. Oh, my God, it's sexually inappropriate to ask her for a date. Give me a break.
Yeah, that's a straw man argument because you're responding to something no one has said. I will say
the Red Lobster.
Kelly Harrison Thornton.
We is reporting people that he attempted to date. That there's 9 women.
I know what the media's report. Yeah, Stan. I know what the media.
Did he ask him out for a date?
Okay, fine, Dan. You don't want to let me talk. We'll see you later. Thanks for the call. So let me restate this now that I don't have Dan trying to talk over me. No one is, I find some of his general behavior and rumors about his general behavior, trolling the malls for teenagers as a 30-something-year-old man, I find that troubling. It's not dispositive of the issue, but the two women who allege sexual assault in conjunction with that, not in isolation to, nice try, not in isolation to, is problematic. Again, you think this is, I'm suggesting that in order to just kind of dismiss this, give this the back of the hand treatment, you have to suggest all of these allegations, I should be specific, are coordinated by the women, by someone pulling the marionette strings on all of these women, most of whom never even heard of each other, as far as we know. And what is Roy Moore? Well, wait till the truth comes out. Wait till all the evidence comes out. Okay, where is it?
Yeah, I just personally, I don't like the woman at the Red Lobster. The high schooler says that she got yanked out of trigonometry class so he could ask her out on a date. So what?
You're looking at these.
That does not bother me at all. I don't mind that older men try to date younger women. And 40 years ago, that was a different time.
You're looking at the case one-off. So I don't have a problem with this allegation, so I'm going to dismiss the whole thing. You're talking about now different allegations, but 8, 9 women? And the quality of the response from Roy Moore and his campaign.
Their response was to bring
been
testimonials forward of women that he's treated well on dates.
Has that been persuasive? Is that persuasive
no, I mean,
to
he
you?
could have done a better job with that. His attorneys should shut their mouths. I mean,
and I ask again, do you want Roy Moore, as an advocate for Christian values, to have a bigger stage as a U.S. Senator? Randy in Elkhorn.
First time I met my wife, I was 21 and she was 3. Amy, do the math here. Okay.
She was
14 years
3?
later. 14 years later, we meet at a wedding. She's 17. I'm 34. Okay.
Okay.
5 years later, she graduates from college. 2 years later, we're married. We've been married for 20 years. We have 2 children. Now,
okay,
that's an 18-year difference, but it's not a 27-year difference between Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky.
No one's defending Bill Clinton.
Absolutely not. I'm just saying,
I'm glad you didn't start dating her when she was 3.
We'll get to the hypocrisy. Thanks for the call, Randy. We'll get to the hypocrisy of the left and these kind of 20-year late to piling on of Bill Clinton that's going on. We'll get to that because it's a fair point you bring up. But Bruno in Naperville.
Yeah, the lawyer for Judge Moore made a pretty convincing case, at least in my mind, when he was talking about the signature evidence, the DA thing, the possibility of the ink being old, and so now you've got 2 cases where it was claimed that there was sexual assault. One of them is supposedly from a 14-year-old for which there's absolutely no evidence. The other one is for the 16-year-old girl where perhaps the evidence doesn't hold up. So let's assume that the 16-year-old girl evidence turns out to be false. They do some analysis on the handwriting. They find out the ink is only, it was this year sometime. What will your opinion be? And the other thing is, what happens if they refuse to allow the yearbook to be analyzed? If Gloria Allred insists that if you're to take a look at this evidence, you're going to have Senate hearings.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bruno. I got to go.
But happen, right?
Yeah, if Roy Moore or anybody else presents exculpatory evidence, then obviously that would change things. I'm open-minded on the topic. Present exculpatory evidence. What have we gotten so far? It's a political hit job. That's the only response we've gotten. It's not good enough.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's incomestore.com.
Go to incomestore.com today. That's incomestore.com.
Mike Gallagher is turning to the positive.
Anywhere else, you see that Trump claims that Putin didn't meddle in our election. There's such deception and such a fierce outrage. I just don't know when we're going to get the cork back in the bottle. I'm choosing right now in my life to look at some positives.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
5:57. Let's get an update on the early morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic Fortini.
Starting to see a few more headlights out there. Inbound Kennedy backing up off the O'Hare extension to Cumberland, then a little bit slower near Pulaski. 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 13 in from the junction, 8 and looking good in those inbound express lanes. That earlier crash at Addison has been taken care of. Inbound Eisenhower, 33 minutes into downtown. We've got the Stevenson slowing up on the inbound side. Harlem into Pulaski, 36 minutes in from 355, 26 in from the Tri-State. Inbound Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th in. The inbound Bishop Ford, a little bit sluggish right near the Stony Island Theater. Traffic's a service of SoFi. Don't let student loan debt slow you down. Refinance with SoFi. Members save $288 a month on average. Learn more at SoFi.com/traffic. Terms, conditions, and state restrictions apply. CFL license number 6054612. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. The latest with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, periods of clouds and sun, high 41, overcast tonight, low 33. Tomorrow, cloudy and breezy, little rain for the afternoon, high 44. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm tomorrow night with a low 43. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
34 at O'Hare, 34 along the lakefront. The news is a service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands. Where is it convenient, and where do I matter? At Walgreens, the corner of happy and healthy. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. Cook County prosecutors are expected to toss out convictions today of 15 men who claim they were framed by a corrupt former Chicago Police Sergeant Ronald Watts. A man sent to prison for a double murder in Chicago free this morning after spending nearly 30 years behind bars. AT&T customers around the country being told to reboot their cell phones after massive problems in L.A., New York, and Chicago yesterday. Superintendent of a Des Plaines school district is stepping down following allegations that he sexually harassed co-workers in District 62. Blackhawks cool off the Rangers with a 6-3 win at the UC. Bulls fall to the Thunder 92-79. College football on AM 560. NIU with a win over Western Michigan 85-31. More Dan and Amy next. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
House Republicans are ready to change the tax code. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We cannot let them do this.
Democratic House Leader Nancy Pelosi disputes the GOP claim about the bill up for a vote today.
This is a tax cut for the middle class. Not true.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, President Trump is going to Capitol Hill today to cheer on House Republicans as they vote on massive tax reform. House Majority Whip Steve Scalise expects the legislation to pass easily.
Our members are focused on passing this bill because it cuts taxes, it gets our economy going again, and it'll create jobs.
The Senate is working on its own version of tax reform, and some Republicans are expressing concern. Susan Collins of Maine is skeptical about the Obamacare individual mandate repeal. Ron Johnson of Wisconsin wants more help for pass-through businesses before he supports the bill. Dave?
Rachel Roy Moore being accused by another woman of groping her decades ago. The Alabama Republican Senate candidates denied the other allegations as vicious attacks. One of the accusers also claims Moore wrote in her yearbook.
Judge Moore says there's no way in the world that's his handwriting. And I want you to look at it. Look at some other writing of his and make your own determination.
His attorney, Philip Jareggi. Moore's fellow Republicans have called on him to quit the Senate race. A Baltimore police officer is in grave condition on life support the morning after he was shot confronting a man acting suspiciously.
At some point in time thereafter, our 18-year veteran homicide detective was shot
in the head.
That is Police Commissioner Kevin Davis. There is a $60,000 reward in the search for that gunman. Days after a powerful earthquake in Iran near the Iraqi border killed more than 500 people, Iran's state media is critical again of U.S. sanctions on Iran, saying that Iranian Americans abroad are unable to send in money to help those affected by that quake. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
With the holidays approaching, now's the perfect time to purchase 2 gifts and only pay for 1. Or give a gift and keep 1 for yourself. Yes, folks, the MyPillow buy 1, get 1 free offer is back. I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love my MyPillows. I get a great night's sleep by moving the fill to give me the support I need, regardless of my sleep position. And I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, plus have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. And it's great to know you're supporting a company that helped thousands of hurricane victims. So get your buy 1, get 1 free MyPillows as gifts or for yourself by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Celebrate the Season of Audi sales event with a beautiful new Audi from Continental Audi of Naperville. Purchase or lease a new Audi during the event and we'll make your first payment of $600 to $1,300. How's that for spreading holiday cheer? With over 180 new vehicles in stock, we have the perfect Audi for you. Stop by for your best test drive ever and feel the sure-footed all-wheel drive performance of Audi Quattro on our exclusive Naperville test track. The 2018 Audi Q3 is an agile crossover with innovative technology, and it's available for 1.9% financing plus $1,500 of bonus cash. And don't forget, we'll make your first payment. Visit us at ContinentalAudi.com or in our Naperville showroom at Aurora and Ogden Avenues. Experience the Continental difference, where smiles are standard equipment. On select new Audi models, when you lease or finance with AFS, payments between $600 and $1,300, 1.9% for 66 months on 2018 Q3 models with approved credit. $1,625 per thousand finance with 0 down for 66 months, expires 1/2/18.
If you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Tasty Catering invites you to come together this holiday season and celebrate with great food and great company.
Since 1989, Tasty Catering has been planning memorable holiday office parties all over Chicagoland and bringing your team together this year in the spirit of the season.
Their delicious holiday menu at tastycatering.com features all the amazing appetizers and entrees, savory side dishes, and decadent desserts that you'll need for the ideal holiday office party.
From elegant plated dinners to casual company buffets and festive cocktail hours.
Stop by their Elk Grove Village Kitchen and meet their award-winning catering family and sample some of their new and classic holiday menu dishes.
The experienced holiday events team is ready to take you step by step through the planning process, simply and stress-free.
Don't delay. Call Tasty Catering at 847-593-2000 or view the holiday menu online at tastycatering.com.
That's 847-593-2000. tastycatering.com. Holidays. Gather, eat, and enjoy together.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
Check out GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. GalloLiquidators.com. That's GALLO Liquidators.com. Gallo reprocesses store returns, closeouts, and shelf pulls, then lists them online starting at just $1. Auctions begin every Thursday, featuring a constantly changing variety of merchandise, tools, antiques, electronics, housewares, and much, much more. GalloLiquidators.com. It's an easy-to-use online platform featuring store returns from some of the nation's largest retailers at a fraction of the price to you, the customer. Pickup location is just blocks from downtown St. Charles. Families love coming in every weekend to pick up their auction winnings. Gallo also accepts all types of consignments. Nationwide shipping is now available. Don't miss out. Visit GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. That's GalloLiquidators.com. GALLO Liquidators.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This is interesting. All of the hand-wringing by the left, as mentioned last hour. Jonathan Chait in the New Yorker. What would Democrats do if their Senate majority hinged on a child molester? Now, you may not agree with that characterization of Roy Moore, but you know what he's getting at.
Right.
What would Democrats do if their Senate majority hinged on a child molester? What do you think if Roy Moore was a Democrat in a blue state that should otherwise be held by, that's running for a Senate seat that should otherwise be held by a Democrat, and the Senate majority for Democrats was on the line? How would Democrats be reacting, do you think? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
I think they'd be doing exactly what the Republicans are doing now, some calling for him to step down. I mean, but then again, look at Bill Clinton. He got away with molesting, raping, allegedly, people in the past, having, numerous affairs, and then hitting on a young, impressionable intern at the White House. And that was acceptable, right?
Well, it was at the time.
But, his party stood by him in the end.
Gloria Steinem characterized Clinton as an adulterer but not a harasser. Nina Burleigh wrote at the time, I'd be happy to give him oral sex just to thank him for keeping abortion legal.
Oh, gross. Who said that? Nina?
Nina Burleigh, another leftist, feminist.
Okay. Ladies, please.
Please. Mo Brooks, the congressman from Alabama who ran in this special election, lost to Roy Moore and Luther Strange.
And he was, wasn't he on the baseball diamond or the
He
softball
was,
practice?
yeah. He argues who will vote in America's best interest on Supreme Court justices, deficit and debt, economic growth, border security, national defense, and the like. Socialist Democrat Doug Jones will vote wrong. Roy Moore will vote right. Hence, I will vote for Roy Moore. That's Congressman Brooks. And so, is that a fair position that he's taking? And more, by the way, Brooks, by the way, is not at all comfortable with the allegations against Moore. So he's not dismissing them. He's just applying a different calculus.
Well, what do you think the Democrats would do if Roy Moore were a Democrat?
We know what they do because they did it. They did it with Bill Clinton. Michelle Goldberg writing in Slate today, yesterday, I believe Juanita Broaddrick was raped. Where was that,
Where was that
20 years
20
ago?
years ago?
Matt Iglesias in Vox.com yesterday. Bill Clinton should have resigned the presidency.
That's that's 2 decades.
This follows
too
up
late.
on Caitlin Flanagan in The Atlantic. This is the time for a reckoning. The left needs to reckon with Bill Clinton. See, now that he is a political corpse, you've got all of these preening reviews 20 years after the fact where the Clintons have no utility to the left so that they can bluff their way to standing to comment on Roy Moore and Republicans in the present. That's what the left is doing. So I'm not giving, certainly my criticism of Roy Moore and my view on Roy Moore, I'm not giving the left any quarter for this transparent, cynical ploy that you see. You think this is just all coincidental in the last 48 hours? Slate and Vox and The Atlantic all chiming in about Bill Clinton. He should have resigned. I believe Juanita Broaddrick. There needs to be a reckoning with Bill Clinton. This is purposeful. To some extent, the intellectual left, I would say, is more organized and more electorally, politically focused than conservative intellectuals. And you see this playing out in real time. It's worth pointing this out. Take judicial notice of this so you understand what they're doing. So when somebody waves Matt Iglesias' piece and you look, they said Bill Clinton should have resigned. Yes, in 2017. And Gloria Steinem and Nina Burleigh and the rest of them were apologists for Bill Clinton because the progressive left agenda, the cultural Marxism, was more important at the time. And so we had to run interference for Bill Clinton, which is what they did. So just understand why they're doing what they're doing now. They need to make amends, or they need to have something to point to that says, yes, I'm not the hypocrite, or I'm woke now about Bill Clinton. So now that I'm woke and now that I've admitted Bill Clinton was a sexual predator, he should have resigned. He did rape Juanita Broaddrick. Now I have the standing to comment on Roy Moore. Just understand what they're doing.
And the only difference between Bill Clinton and Roy Moore is that Roy Moore is still in denial. He hasn't fessed up to anything. But Bill Clinton, after earlier denials, he did concede, saying it was wrong.
No.
Critical
lapse.
No, this was a judgment and a personal failure on my part, for which I'm solely and completely responsible.
That's Monica Lewinsky. That's not Juanita Broaddrick.
Right. Juanita Broaddrick, he's never.
Yeah, so there's no contrition with Bill Clinton. Absolutely not. There's no contrition at all. Joe in Romeoville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Yeah, the Democrats do this all the time. Look at Senator Byrd. They forgive his KKK affiliation. Ted Kennedy driving a car off a cliff and off a bridge and killing a woman. They just make all kinds of excuses. They have unsubstantiated rumors 40 years ago. They'll use every excuse. And the Clintons are disposable right now because they're not useful anymore to the party any other way.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly, Joe. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Well, I mean, here's the question. Ultimately, I guess, do we just look at members of Congress, members of the Senate, governors, people in high office, should we just essentially start from the premise that they're sundry miscreants, just like you see in everyday life, just like, some of you come across in your workplace or your work life, and you don't expect them to be civic or intellectual leaders? We should just, or even aspire to have civic and intellectual leaders in public office. Should we just be done with that notion of having civic and intellectual leaders, accomplished men and women, thoughtful men and women, civilized men and women in public office, and just assume they're going to be the same cross-section of miscreants you run into in everyday life, and all that matters is whether or not they're voting my interests or they're not voting my interests? I'm not looking to them for philosophical leadership. I'm not looking to them for insight into the way forward in terms of how a free society should be organized. I just want them to press red when I want red pressed, and I just want them to press green when I want green pressed, like they're basically a marionette. I mean, is that what we should think about? Is that what we want when we talk about elected officials?
Do you want Bill Clinton to come forward and apologize for Juanita Broderick?
I don't care what Bill Clinton does. That's not. It's past post. That's not. I don't care. It's just fascinating to see the kind of intellectual pretzel twisting that's going on, so that people can sort of minimize their hypocrisy on the issue, and so people don't have to answer the kind of the predicate questions like the ones I'm posing. Because, I mean, understand, right, would Roy Moore, to Mo Brooks's point, would Roy Moore vote conservative and would Doug Jones vote with the Democrats? Yeah. He would have no standing to lead, Roy Moore, as a U.S. Senator. Unlikely, unless he can somehow extricate himself from these allegations with much more than he's provided so far. But let's assume he can't. He would have no standing to lead, but he would probably generally vote the way that I would want him to vote. Is that good enough? I'm not looking for leadership. Just press red when I want red pressed and green when I want green pressed. That's all I care about from my elected officials. Is that your view? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
On an ancillary issue, well, kind of. Chelsea Handler tweeted an apology to Juanita Broderick, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm just seeing this. You're right, and I apologize to you for not knowing your story. Democrats, along with Republicans and the rest of the world's political parties, all need to do better and respect the firsthand accounts of victims. I believe you."
Yeah, well, that again.
I mean, that goes along with the Vox article and Gloria Steinem.
Yeah, it's all of the same kind. It's
now they're having this epiphany.
No, it's
20 years later.
No, it's not an epiphany. It's now now I see where my political interests lie, so I'm going to have to adjust to pursue my political interests. That's what you see happening, whether it's Chelsea Handler or any of these other pseudo-intellectuals that I've referenced before, Michelle Goldberg at Slate or whoever. And let me ask you another question. Who is worse for your particular party, a bad actor or a traitor? I mean, this is a bit of a challenging question too. I mean, I'm trying to get a sense of what do you want from your elected officials. And
I want honesty, which they're not, because everybody's fungible. So they'll just twist and turn whatever topic, whatever they think will help get them more constituents and more love.
So this is a corollary to the I don't expect leadership, I don't expect vision, I don't expect thoughtful guidance. I expect or desire just that they vote the way I want them to vote when I want them to vote a particular way. So which is worse? I would say an enemy inside your perimeter on it when it comes to policy issues like Rauner or Mark Kirk or Roy Moore. Which is worse?
God, they're all bad.
I know that.
No.
Anthony in Plainfield.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I was going to lead off with a different response, but your enemy in the perimeter versus somebody different than that.
The bad actor.
An enemy, a bad actor, that's it. An enemy in the perimeter is far worse. They can turn others in their direction. They are tagged supposed leaders, and as leaders, what they should be doing counts. And it just is an infectious type of a situation. If you got a bad actor, you know this guy or girl is a bad actor, you can tag him as such and then move on to somebody which hopefully will be better.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Anthony. Jerry in Homer Glen.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I've got a different take on why the Republicans are pushing for this guy to be removed.
Okay.
They don't really want the majority because they can't keep saying they're going to get things done when they can. So if they reduce the amount of Republicans they have in there, it's a lot easier to be an obstructionist than try to be a leader. So I have a feeling that they can keep the swamp the way they like it by eliminating some of the Republicans that might vote against them.
Thanks for the call, Jerry. That's the Illinois Republican strategy. I don't want the majority. I get paid the same. It's less work. I can just kind of mill about, get my side deals done, and I don't know, play politics, and I still get to write the same op-eds. I still get the same camera time. I still have my little title. It just says minority leader instead of majority leader. What's the difference? If you are going to into public office with the idea of being somebody, then you're right. Jerry from Homer Glen is exactly right. And again, we have a microcosm of that here in Illinois. Jim in Rockford.
Morning, Dan and Amy.
Morning.
With your knowledge of the swamp, you mentioned polls a lot. How do you think the polls will be trending between now and Election Day?
Well, the poll out yesterday that has Roy Moore down 12. I know some people have made reference to previous polls that have him up. The last poll that had him up 10, that was taken November 9th to the 11th, so most of that sample was polled before the allegations came out, so it's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. He's lost. He's clearly lost, 10 to 15 points in the last week, and as these allegations continue to pile up, I don't see how he recovers unless he offers more in response than he's offered to date.
Yesterday, a local Fox 10 poll had him up 6 points.
Trump was down 93 to 7. Do you put any faith in these polls?
93 to 7.
That's
yeah.
What are you talking about?
Never heard that before.
You mean
on Election Day?
Well, there's a 93% chance that Hillary was going to win, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Do you put any faith in the polls?
I do, actually. Thanks for the call, Jim. And just on the polls, so people understand this. Yes, some of the polls got it wrong on Trump, but most of them, by the way, were well within the margin of error. You're talking about 95% confidence interval, generally speaking. Most of the polls in the states that Trump ended up winning that were key to his election in the Midwest, with some exceptions, of course, there are always outliers, but we're within the margin of error. So the idea that polling is not real science and it should just be dismissed out of hand because some polls have been wrong or some outcomes have been unexpected is false. Okay. Don and McHenry.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Dan, in terms of your point about what we want from our leaders, I certainly would aspire to have great, strong, moralistic leaders. And the reality is that our society today doesn't put much value on that, and we do play politics. And I think the presidential election was an example of that. People often ask me, why could you support Trump? And I said, well, if we're doing a contest of who's the worst person, they tied.
Yeah,
I had to make decisions based on policy and things of that nature. Now, that being said, there's certain lines that obviously if a guy raped a 14-year-old girl, that to me disqualifies him absolutely. But the big picture sometimes is one of those that I think is what causes the dilemma is, I don't want to Marxist Democrat into the Senate at any time. But it's hard to say I would rather have a rapist than a Marxist Democrat.
Yeah, right.
That's the position people get put in.
Yeah, you're right, Don. It's well said. Thanks for the call. Chris in Morton Grove.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I'm calling about the yearbook, and I think that Gloria Allred should turn it over for handwriting analysis. And if she doesn't do it, why not? That's what people should be asking.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay, thanks, Chris. Maybe we'll have Gloria on to answer that question.
808.
Sean in Elmwood Park.
I like your question, Prof. Every once in a while, you come up with what seems to be simple, but it's complex. And I mean it on this standpoint. This country is not set
I'm
up
not
to
a smart man, but I know what love is.
This,
All right.
right? I think Moore even lost the Forrest Gump vote. Listen, here's the issue. It's not representative government is not set up for leadership in a ruler position. So you have these flawed people, these con men, on all levels, and I mean that from your congressman all the way up. And they sit in these seats and they believe themselves to be our rulers. And it sets us up for not just the bribery of our economy and subsidies, which we live with every day, but it sets us up to be subjugated to their failures and their of character and that's what you're seeing. And you have these people, but it almost sets us up to be perfectly tribalized, right?
Well, Sean, Sean, yeah, but you have to, this goes in both directions. And you talk about a ruling class, okay. Well, there are a lot of voters that are content to be ruled, and so there's a problem in the body politic too.
But you're talking about character. You're talking about the morals. It's being braided in with the question. So do I need someone who morally and completely agrees with me? I need someone who morally and completely agrees with what representation is. See, it's funny, and you and I discussed this, and you accuse me of being a liberal. And if you believe in the Constitution, to me, you are a liberal, right?
Classic
I don't have
liberal.
the right to do anything. Now, that being said, I can use my judgment. And this Roy Moore case is the perfect example. And when women call up and Amy chimes in and it's okay, you could date someone young. You're dating teenagers and you're a man. At that point, you're disqualified from making decisions. Because you agree with me on the principles of conservatism is irrelevant. You are a scumbag. Now, that's where I draw my line of standard. It doesn't matter if he believes in subsidies or not. At that point, you're a scumbag.
Right.
So this guy's question, do I go with conservatives because he is one? No, because I stand for principles and for fundamentals, and I will not be swayed by characters and con men. That's why when you cheat old people and kids in an infomercial scam, when you don't pay people that do work on your buildings, when you stiff contracts for people who buy your buildings pre-construction, you are a scumbag.
Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for president?
None of the above.
There you go.
Like
Thanks, Sean.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have a $1,200 knee brace because I have bone on bone in my left knee, and I have a torn cartilage in my right knee. And since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I don't wear my brace, and I can walk without pain. It's I have these copper things I used to put on my knees. I don't use those either. I don't use anything. I think it's just wonderful.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Order today.
Gentlemen, it's No Shave Movember. Time to change the face of your health for the better. Take the first step and get your levels checked by someone you can trust. I personally recommend my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. Their service was fantastic. Their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men for low testosterone levels. At Low T Center, they know we hate going to the doctor. That's why they make it quick and easy. With their on-site lab, you will get your results back in about 20 minutes, and most health insurance is accepted. This Movember, Low T Center is offering a testosterone and prostate level test with an assessment for just $50. Guys, take the first step. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. The number 312-239-3427. Call now, 312-239-3427, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com. That website, lowtcenter.com.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. Square Trade does not cover loss or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone.
So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to SquareTrade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting two phones for the price of one. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Trump summarizes his 12 days in Asia, featuring getting 3 UCLA ballers released from China at 6:36.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. President Trump will address House Republicans before today's expected vote on tax cuts. The president has been pushing hard for passage of a sweeping tax reform bill. Republicans insist every income class will benefit from the tax cuts. Republicans in the Senate defending their version of the plan to include also a key repeal of a part of Obamacare in that big tax bill. Republican from Utah, Orrin Hatch.
A mandate isn't just any tax. It's a terribly regressive tax that imposes harsh burdens on low and middle-income taxpayers.
Hatch chairs the Senate Finance Committee. More women coming forward with accusations against Alabama senatorial candidate Roy Moore. AL.com says a woman named Tina Johnson claims Moore grabbed her during a meeting with him in 1991 when she was 28. Robert Mugabe still clinging to power in Zimbabwe, insisting he's still the ruler. The 93-year-old president, however, is under house arrest, ousted in a military coup on Wednesday. Cook County prosecutors are expected to toss out convictions today of 15 men who claim they were framed by a corrupt former Chicago police sergeant, Ronald Watts. Watts has already served prison time for stealing money from a drug-dealing informant in 2011. Authorities continue the search for a missing Mokina woman. Will County sheriffs say Caitlin Kearns was last seen early Monday leaving her job at a bar in Joliet. Chicago officials say city crews will extend the number of days they clear debris from the streets before winter settles in. Chicago's street sweeping season usually ends on the Friday before Thanksgiving. This year, they'll keep it up until December 8th. Blackhawks over the Rangers at the UC, 6-3. Was the Bulls falling to the Thunder in OKC, 92-79. College football here on AM 560 last night. NIU moves to 8-3 with a 35-31 win in the MAC over Western Michigan. The news, a service of SoFi. Don't let student loan debt slow you down. Refinance with SoFi. Members save $288 a month on average. Learn more at SoFi.com/traffic. Terms, conditions, and state restrictions apply. CFL license number 6054612. 634, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Two strong banking teams have united to help you continue to grow your business with the same dedication and even more opportunities. And we have a new name. The private bank is now CIBC. The same team you know and trust now brings deeper resources, global banking reach, and the power to help your business seize new opportunities. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to your business is now stronger than ever. Visit us at CIBC.com/US. Member FDIC.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas. Online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Life should be an adventure, and so should your health. It's another can't-miss Health Quest radio show this Saturday morning. Dr. David Kolbaba.
You're eating too much food. You get it? We're eating too much food, and whether eating too much food causes kidney stones or diabetes or obesity, it don't matter. We're eating about 75% too much food because you're not moving your body. If you moved your body more, you could eat more, but you're not, so don't.
Create your adventure in health. Tune into Health Quest Radio every Saturday morning at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Inbound Eden's getting heavy from Church to Montrose, 31 minutes in from Lake Cook into the junction. Inbound Kennedy at 29 minutes from O'Hare in, 11 in from Montrose, 10 in the inbound Express, pretty slow off the O'Hare extension, and then brake lights Ogden into the Burns Circle. Outbound delays Chicago to Pulaski, then Lawrence to Sayre on the west end. Scheduled 27 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Bulking up on the inbound Ike, Manheim to Harlem. Also slowing on the inbound Stevenson. Traffic heavy from First Avenue into Kedzie. It's already 58 minutes in from 355. Inbound I-57 sluggish near 119th with delays on the northbound side of the tri-state beginning near 88. Traffic's a service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands, where is it convenient and where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Breezy day ahead. We'll have clouds and sun mixed and a high only of 41. Cloudy and 33 overnight. Little afternoon rain back in the forecast for tomorrow and a high of 44. Currently, at O'Hare officially it's 34. 34 along the lakefront, 33 at Midway. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the lawyers of Kelleher and Buckley, providing legal solutions to your estate planning and asset protection. KelleherandBuckley.com.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so Trump yesterday summarizing his 12 days in Asia, where he saw his approval numbers bump up a bit as he's had other successful trips in terms of at least public perception, if not also substance in some cases, to other parts of the world. President Trump saying he had 3 goals for the Asia trip, and here they are.
Our trip was defined by 3 core goals. First, to unite the world against the nuclear menace posed by the North Korean regime, a threat that has increased steadily through many administrations and now requires urgent action. Second, to strengthen America's alliances and economic partnerships in a free and open Indo-Pacific, made up of thriving independent nations respectful of other countries and their own citizens, and safe from foreign domination and economic servitude. And third, to finally, after many years, insist on fair and reciprocal trade. Fair and reciprocal trade.
He said it twice for emphasis. So those are the 3 overarching goals of the trip. And also, while along the way, he had a cheeseburger with Prime Minister Abe in Japan, and he did a little karaoke with that lunatic Duterte in the Philippines.
Yeah, he did. And that place where he had a cheeseburger, lines now are out the door because it's the Trump touch. You know, everybody wants to do what the president was doing because they really loved him. His Asian trip, I thought, was a huge success, except for meeting with Duterte. Would you have done that? Met with him? I mean,
this
is a man who allegedly has killed thousands of drug dealers illegally.
You meet with heads of state as the president of the United States. It's not the Mormon Tabernacle Choir around the country, around the world. That is. So every president has to meet with and deal with rogue individuals that turn out to be heads of state. Here's that. Now, of course, you had this sort of international incident concurrent to Trump's trip, and boy, the timing couldn't have been better for Trump to be in China for 3 UCLA basketball players who were arrested for shoplifting.
Oh, yeah.
And facing, a decade in prison?
That's a possibility. Anywhere from 2 to 3 years to 10 years in prison. What they did, the 3 thugs, Cody Riley, LaAngelo Ball, that's LeVar Ball's son, and Jalen Hill, they went into the Louis Vuitton store and 2 other high-end stores and took merchandise because they thought it was fun. Well, it wasn't fun because 20 Chinese police officers then stormed the hotel. They questioned Georgia Tech players because they weren't sure who was caught on camera stealing these items, and they pinpointed it was these 3. And they are so lucky that they got out because President Trump, I think, should have sent a message to those thugs and kept them there.
Oh,
No.
Had him serve
They
that
didn't
tenure term.
Yeah, because they think
sure
they're so entitled that, you know what, since I'm a UCLA Division I basketball player, somebody will come to my aid. My brother's Lonzo Ball. My dad's LeVar Ball. I'll get out.
I would have just used the, hey, we thought that they were, violating international trademark law, that these were knockoffs at Neiman Marcus.
Oh, okay.
So we were on a recon mission to bring these back because we've got this problem with China stealing our intellectual property and doing knockoff products. So I mean, I assume that they were, basically when they weren't playing basketball, they were kind of, doing some trade recon. But here's 2 of the players expressing their remorse for what happened and their thanks to President Trump for getting them released. Here is Cody Riley from UCLA.
I take full responsibility for the mistake I have made, shoplifting. I know that this goes beyond me letting my school down, but I've let the entire country down. Before I thank everybody who worked so incredibly hard to help us return home safely, I want to thank the Chinese police and the government for taking care of us and treating us well during our time there. To President Trump and the United States government, thank you for taking the time to intervene on our behalf.
You think they're going to become Republicans now and Trump supporters? 312-642-5600. Turnkey Depro answer line. No, but
LeAngelo Ball also weighed in.
I'd like to start off by saying sorry for stealing from the stores in China. I didn't exercise my best judgment, and I was wrong for that.
Yeah, we can see that point.
But seriously, their voices were trembling. They were scared. This did rattle their cages.
I'd like to start off by saying sorry for stealing from the stores in China. I didn't exercise my best judgment, and I was wrong for that. I apologize to my family, my coaches, my teammates, and UCLA for letting so many people down. I also apologize to the people of China for causing them so much trouble. I'm a young man, however, it's not an excuse for making a really stupid decision. I don't feel sorry for myself, and I've learned my lesson from this big mistake, and I'm 110% sure that I'll not make a bad decision like this one again.
Yeah, so there's some contrition, but they have been suspended indefinitely. So I don't know what exactly that means when they're going to lift the suspension, but Steve Alford, coach at Iowa, former coach from Iowa, he was obviously disappointed with his players.
That's how Steve Alford is known, former coach at Iowa. I think he's actually known as standout at Indiana. Trying to pilfer Steve Alford.
No, he was a standout at Indiana when he was a player.
Yes.
But I think that they should be kicked off the team or suspended for this entire season, which I guess that means suspended indefinitely.
Okay.
But they were acting like we let our country down. We're so sorry. I mean, did they really let the country down? Dan, was that a little bit of hyperbole?
I don't know. They created an international incident. They made asses of themselves, and so they apparently recognize that, or at least they read a prepared statement to that effect. And
and they should become Republicans now. This should convince them to join the Republican Party.
Marty in Naperville.
Hi, guys. Great show today.
Thank you.
You hear these written apologies they're not sincere apologies. I just don't think these guys even think they did anything wrong. It's a joke. It was fun. They thought it'd be fun. Who thinks it's fun to shoplift?
It's a game.
I kind of agree with Amy on this one. I'd have let them stay there for a while and try to learn something, but they wouldn't have.
Yeah, they're gonna.
It would have been an international, expensive incident that would have made Donald Trump look foolish, because then Jesse and Al Sharpton would have got involved and blah blah blah. So kudos to Donald Trump for getting him out of there, but
Thanks for the call, Marty. Yeah,
They all come from their families are well-to-do, all three of them. Well, it's
Yeah,
not like they're stealing out of need.
Yeah, they're
It was
gonna
a
go.
game.
Yeah, they're all gonna go to the Winona Ryder kleptomania clinic to get treatment. Okay, good grief. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Amy. You are such a sucker for this fake sincerity. Your boys should come stay with me for a week so I can set them straight.
Hey. No, I said Trump shouldn't have intervened. That's what I said.
No, these basketball players, they were like reading a prepared statement. They were like captors in Syria. They were begrudgingly. Somebody told them, you better thank Trump or you don't get to start next week. They basically, they could care less about Trump. I felt their sincerity. And just like Roy Moore, I just think you need to toughen up a little and quit thinking people are good. Learn from Dan. People are bad.
That's right.
Wow.
Well, that's right, Holly. Thanks for the call. Scott on the West Side.
Hey, Dan, Amy, thanks for taking my call. I think the perfect punishment would be to require them to go around the nation and clean up the vandalism on the statues that has been occurring.
Yeah.
The Washington and the Jefferson statues. And at each stop, they should have to have held a press conference and say how proud they are of our country's history, that it's given them the opportunities to play basketball for UCLA.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Scott. It's more likely that they'll help to erect a statue to the Chinese police, who they also thank for treating them so well while they were in captivity.
I got a text message from someone saying, do you think President Trump would have helped him if there were 3 white basketball players?
Gosh,
Oh, my
come
gosh.
on. The answer is yes, he would have. Come on, do we have to? This is so really. Come on. I mean, everything that's going on college campuses, and these 3 knuckleheads who got caught shoplifting. That's where we're going to draw the line on college campuses. That's what really exercises us about what's happening on college campuses. This is like in Cook County. What really animates me is that sugar drink tax. Not everything else. not
the property taxes or
the
the crime rate.
The decimation of the state and my equity in it. But that soda tax. I mean,
that got to people, though, Dan. You know what?
God.
Well, at least it got some people involved.
Julia in Burlington.
Actually, it's Bloomington.
Bloomington. Yeah. Our
It's any town that starts with a B.
Our call screener is hard of hearing or is illiterate. I'm not sure which.
I'm just calling in response to the basketball players stealing in China. I teach elementary school and middle school, and going any further than you're an idiot, stealing is wrong. You don't have to be raised in the church or know the Ten Commandments. Everybody knows stealing is wrong. So when you do something wrong, you ought to get punished. And that apology, that's an apology I would demand from a 4th grader.
Yep.
And how old is this guy? Thinking it's some big, heartfelt, we should all feel bad for him. It's ridiculous.
Thanks for the call, Julia.
But
Frank?
you should see, watch them. The ball looked like he was bawling. He was on the verge of tears. They got rattled, at least, by this.
Frank in Arlington Heights.
Hi, Dan. Question for you. You think people are bad. That's what Amy just said. This is kind of reference to Roy Moore, too. Was
Original
St. Augustine
sin.
a bad person?
I as a Catholic, Frank, I believe in original sin, so I believe people are inherently bad, and so did St. Augustine, by the way.
Yeah, but St. Augustine was a moral leper, and then now he's a saint, and we follow his law. We follow his, we believe in his ideas, and he's a great Christian.
Yes.
So do people get forgiven?
Well, yes, but and we've addressed this before in the context of Roy Moore, if that's where you're going, or UCLA. You get forgiveness if you express sincere contrition. That's how forgiveness works, right?
Right. Yep. So
Right.
I mean, we also have to look at with the Roy Moore situation. We don't know whether it's true or not. So we have to give the guy. We also have legal issues here where we have to give the guy the benefit of the doubt.
Thanks for the call, Frank. Well, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt, per the standard of evidence. If this were a criminal trial or even a civil matter, the standards are different. Reasonable doubt, preponderance of the evidence. In the the arena of public opinion, in the context of a political campaign, there's no such standard. It's, if you can't prove it one way or the other, you have to go with your best instincts based on the information that's presented, don't you? And so that's what I'm doing. That's what other people are doing who disagree with me as well. And I guess people have to make their own assessments on the quality of the arguments that are being offered. Bill on the north side.
Yeah, I got a way of rattling them when they go to play. Every opposing team, the kids in college should all bring a cheap pair of sunglasses and flip them out onto the court and rattle them when they're about to shoot the free throw or something.
Yeah, no, I like that. Oh, sorry, Phil, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's good sportsmanship. I like that. Yeah, that's good smack talking in a kind of a fun way. I like that. When is their next game? I would like to see something like that. The other thing in terms of what their punishment would do, what their punishment should be, what should they do?
Instead of just being suspended?
Here's the way I would approach it. What would John Wooden do?
Oh boy.
What would John Wooden do? John Wooden, who was going to throw Bill Walton off the championship team for failing to abide the team's no facial hair policy. What would John Wooden have done?
He would have left him in China.
Margot and Burr Ridge.
Too bad.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm guessing that in the interim between stealing those things and getting freed, I bet they've been educated as to who Otto Warmbier is and what he stole, which was a cheap poster that wasn't even for sale. And as to what America has lost, in Asia there's a thing called face, and those boys made America lose face by their actions.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the call, Margaret. No, they embarrassed themselves and the country by extension on this, kind of overseas basketball exhibition. That's right. Mike on the north side.
Good morning. These guys stealing in China, and then you had the U.S. Olympic hockey team trashing the hotel rooms in Japan. That woman's right, we lost face. But the thing is, what did you expect UCL players to do? Of course they're going to steal. Look who their coach is, Alford. He was the coach, for you casual sports fans, he was the coach at Iowa, and he kept the person that was on trial for rape on the roster, and then he got caught raping again. And then it took him a couple days after the second arrest for rape to throw this Pierre player off the team.
Yeah.
They should have kept those three guys, and they should have kept Alford in there. They should have showed him what caning was.
All right, thanks for the call, Mike. Oh, a Nick Leeson reference. Wasn't it Nick Leeson? Wasn't that? Related sports note, the Illini football team on a high note has set a Big Ten record this weekend before they even play.
What's that?
They're playing Ohio State this weekend.
Oh, my God. Don't even watch.
They are the biggest underdog in Big Ten football history. They're a 41-point underdog against Ohio State this weekend. So congratulations to Lovie Smith and the Illini.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Obama-era consumer chief is out of there, and Minnesota loses its bid for the World's Fair. And today we'll have word on jobless claims and mortgage interest rates. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours. And they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Richard Cordray, the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, leaving government at the end of this month. Cordray, a frequent critic of President Trump, was appointed to the consumer post by Barack Obama. Republican lawmakers had urged President Trump to fire him, but now Cordray is vacating the post on his own. It would have been the first World's Fair on U.S. soil in almost 40 years, but Minnesota lost its bid for the 2022 World's Fair, the Bureau of International Expositions tapping instead Buenos Aires. And due out today, a number of economic reports, including the Labor Department's weekly jobless claims. We'll have an update on the housing market and this week's mortgage interest rates from Freddie Mac. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spaveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Business owners, it's likely you're working on your business plan for 2018, budgeting for different departments, or considering where to grow your revenue. It's going to be a busy new year. Have you included your IT infrastructure, network security, and your IT help desk and support? You know, IT can be one of those things that's out of sight and out of mind until there's a problem and everything comes to a screeching halt. Your IT systems are the backbone of your business and what makes everything run smoothly. And Turnkey IT is the company that makes sure your business doesn't miss a beat. Make 2018 the year to improve your network hardware, get into the cloud, and most importantly, get prompt, courteous, local customer support for your systems. Ready for a new and better year for your business? Start with a visit from your friendly, neighborhood trusted IT advisors at Turnkey IT, so you can concentrate on your business and not the technical stuff. Is your IT ready for 2018? Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have been on these supplements from Balance of Nature for a couple of years now. And prior to that, I used other supplements. They did nothing for me. This has been absolutely wonderful. I have never felt so good, and I have felt so much better health-wise. My cholesterol's down. All my numbers are down, and it's been great. So I highly recommend Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature. Order today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Is politics downstream from culture, or is it just part of culture? We're going to talk to Maggie Gallagher, her excellent piece in First Things on the topic, and also this example of Marilyn Musgrave, a former congresswoman from Colorado, and how it may be instructive on the Roy Moore matter. That's at 7:07.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Prosecutors are dismissing 18 convictions tied to former Chicago cop. AT&T users, reboot your phones. Thunder beat the Bulls, and the Blackhawks cooled off the Rangers. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
House Republicans say what they'll do today will give most of us a tax cut.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
70% of the individual tax relief in this bill goes to individuals and families under $200,000. That's middle-class tax relief.
Congressman Peter Roskam telling FBN about the the decrease in taxes that is likely for most of us in a House bill that's going to pass today. Likely. President Trump's going to go to the Capitol supporting Republicans before the vote. All Democrats oppose the plan. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
Republicans are trying to transform our country into a plutocracy, a government of the wealthy.
The Senate was working on a different version that right now one Republican does not support. Ron Johnson says it favors corporations more than small businesses.
I'm assuming we'll be able to get to a yes. Yeah, I think this is a very solvable problem, but we need a dedication to solve it.
Republicans keep calling for a second special counsel to investigate Hillary Clinton, and she has responded. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, in an interview with Mother Jones, Clinton said she's not worried about the possibility of a special counsel, but is concerned a probe into the Uranium One deal would be an abuse of power.
I regret if, they do it because it will be such a disastrous step into politicizing the justice system.
Justice Department prosecutors are considering requests from Republicans to investigate the sale of Uranium One to Russian interests and alleged unlawful dealings related to the Clinton Foundation. Dave?
Rachel, more than a month after the Las Vegas shooting spree that left 58 people dead, 14 more lawsuits have been filed. The hotel, the Mandalay Bay, is among those being sued. Baltimore police keep searching for the gunman who shot a detective in the head. He is now on life support in grave condition this morning. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
33 degrees. Skies are cloudy. Winds northwest at 11. Gives us a wind chill of 24 this morning. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Cook County prosecutors are expected today to toss out convictions of 15 men who claim they were framed by a corrupt former Chicago police sergeant, Ronald Watts. Joshua Tepfer is with the Exoneration Project.
This corruption was covered up and by the highest levels of the Chicago Police Department.
Watts already has served prison time for stealing money from a drug dealing informant in 2011. A woman is receiving a large payout after she was sexually assaulted in May at the Cook County Courthouse in Markham. Cook County commissioners approved that $3.25 million settlement yesterday, and the department has moved to fire 9 courthouse employees as a result of that incident. AT&T customers around the country are being told to reboot cell phones. Outage Report and DownDetector.com say hundreds of thousands of AT&T users in Chicago, New York, and L.A. had problems. Superintendent of the Des Plaines School District 62 stepping down following allegations that he sexually harassed coworkers. The board last night announcing that Dr. Floyd Williams will resign December 13th. In Oak Grove Village this morning, there is an effort to change the law. It says if you want to buy cigarettes and other tobacco products, you'll have to be at least 21. The move in Oak Grove Village joins ordinances already in effect in Evanston, Oak Park, Highland Park, Naperville, Deerfield, Maywood, Berwyn, and unincorporated Lake County. Blackhawks cooled off the Rangers with a 6-3 win last night. Bulls offense dreadful in a loss to the Thunder in OKC, 92-79. College football here on AM 560. NIU now 8-3 after a MAC win over Western Michigan, 35-31. College hoops, Northwestern fell to Creighton, 92-88. The news, a service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands. Where is it convenient, and where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. 7:04, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Are you facing foreclosure, been foreclosed upon, in a bad modification, or just stuck in a bad mortgage? Well, we may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. We defend foreclosure actions. We bring claims against the banks and the servicers for wrongful foreclosure and other violations of mortgage servicing regulations. And we help people negotiate modifications of their existing mortgages, often including principal reductions. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, and advice regarding your options.
Hi, this is Rayanne from Lou Bridges & Associates. I am one of the loan modification processors here, and if you are in need of any additional information in regard to a loan modification, please contact the office.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
707. Check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Rolling through the heart of our morning rush and traffic getting thicker. Inbound Kennedy, 43 minutes in from O'Hare, 21 in from Montrose, 19 in the inbound express, heaviest between Montrose and the Burns Circle. Outbound delays, bulk of the delay between the Burns Circle out through the junction, 27 minutes downtown to Montrose, 47 if you're out to O'Hare. Pretty slow between Montrose and Harlem on the west end. Inbound Ike, 56 minutes in from Route 390. Inbound Stevenson, an hour 2 from 355 into Lakeshore Drive. Delays on the outbound Stevenson continue between Damon and Central. And traffic slowing on the northbound Tri-State as you approach the Reagan. Northbound 355 a little bit heavy near the Army Trail Toll Plaza. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, clouds and sun, high 41. Overcast night, low 33. Breezy with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow, little afternoon rain with a high 44. Then periods of rain and a thunderstorm at night. Low tomorrow night, 43. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
34 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, he had a decent run
Oh, who are we talking about?
President Trump, he's going to be impeached. Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear?
Well, I got my hair cut yesterday. Oh, by the way, thanks everybody for noticing that I got a cut in color. Did you notice?
No, it looks fabulous.
Yeah.
No, it's so different.
Much better than the picture that you tweeted out of me. #ugly
Yeah,
Amy.
they combed it. So that's the difference.
No, they washed it. I got it.
Oh, I
about
washed
3
it,
inches
too.
cut off my hair.
Oh, it's
getting really long.
No, it's
But at
great.
the salon,
Good look.
everybody was abuzz that President Trump's going to get impeached.
Yeah, he's
This
gonna
is
be
the heart of
impeached.
the city, Gold Coast area.
Yeah, he's going to be impeached because 6 House Democrats with nothing better to do introduced 5 articles of impeachment against Donald Trump, including our very own,
Say
among
it.
the 6, El Gaito.
Luis Gutierrez.
He's violated federal law, the public trust, the emoluments clause, et cetera, et cetera. Here's
What is the breakdown? What's
here's
the
Steve
amount?
Cohen, who is a congressman from Tennessee, explaining the basis for the impeachment, the articles of impeachment.
We believe that President Trump has violated the Constitution, and we've introduced 5 articles of impeachment. The first is obstruction of justice, which deals with Mr. Comey's firing. The second is a violation of the Constitution's Foreign Emolument Clause, which deals with monies he's taken from foreign powers without the consent of Congress. The third is a violation of the Domestic Emoluments Clause, which deals with monies he's made from the United States and as personal businesses beyond that of his salary, which is also forbidden by our Constitution. The fourth is undermining our federal judiciary, and the fifth is undermining freedom of the press.
Yeah, so there you go.
Undermining
Yeah, he's on it because if you're
really?
critical of the press, you can't be critical of the press, which undermines other parts of the First Amendment. But they're not interested in those parts. And then, for good measure, El Gaito took to the dais to put an exclamation point on it.
This is not a substitute, what we are doing here today, being led by Congressman Cohen. It's not a substitute for the investigations that should and will go forward. But the Congress needs to get started.
Yeah, got to get
The
going.
U.S. Congress, and specifically the Judiciary Committee, on which I sit with Steve Cohen, is the place where impeachment starts, is the place where impeachment starts. And if we fail to file these articles of impeachment, we would be failing to do our jobs.
Yeah.
Estamos aquí porque creemos que
Yeah,
el
then he
presidente
went. I just thought he'd give you a little
fundamentalmente
Spanish
ha
too,
sido
because he went on to
criminal
give it in
en sus
Spanish.
acciones.
And then he broke out in the song.
This is a democracy, and we will make democracy work.
El Gaito. This is how we do it in the Hilly's 4th District. Just another Democrat unrealistic. I want to hear you scream impeach 45. El Gaito.
That was the song that played him off the dais, which was fun.
Right, because it's impeach 45.
Yeah. So there you go. So we'll have.
Keep you up to date. What's going to happen?
I assume post haste these hearings will commence. So plan maybe first of the year.
For
We'll
the
have a look.
impeachment party?
We'll have a look at Mike Pence's first 100 days as president.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. That's how serious you should take El Gaito. I mean, and by the way, just to be fair, there was talk of Obama impeachment for Benghazi, for his unconstitutional overreach on immigration policy, for other matters during his presidency, too, kind of one-off conversations or one-off suggestions about it. That's what you have here. It's not to be taken seriously, as if the fact that we're talking about Luis Gutierrez doesn't make that obvious. All right, switching gears, we're pleased to be joined by Maggie Gallagher, who is a senior fellow for the American Principles Project, and she's written an excellent piece in First Things that we referenced earlier in the week about politics and culture, essentially arguing that those who suggest that politics is downstream from culture don't have it quite right. So let's explore that with Maggie Gallagher, who joins us now. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm great to be with you. Thank you. Good morning.
So, my perspective on this is culture is everything, and so I concede your point that politics is a part of culture, which is what you write in your piece. But does the nature of politics being a part of culture mean that we aren't ultimately or shouldn't ultimately be focused on kind of the proverbial culture war?
Well, no, it means right now we're living in America where everything is being renormed so that people who believe in kind of some simple, basic truths like you're born male and female. We have a need for men and women to come together to make and raise the next generation together. That idea is called marriage. These things are now being renormed as hateful. And so, and it's obvious that the Republican Party is increasingly useless in terms of doing anything about this. And so the question is, what do we conclude from that? So I would agree absolutely with the people who say culture is really important, and that those of us who are people of faith have to figure out how to build creative subculture communities to transmit our own values and our own faith to the next generation. The only thing I don't agree about is that means we should somehow get out of politics. What we did is we took a really serious look. What I really believe is the reason social conservatives are easily betrayed and not very politically influential. The most important reason, there's a lot of reasons, but the most important reason is we're not really in politics. We talk like we're in politics, and have people who go on television and say political things. But if you follow the money, what you find out is that we, unlike the left, and particularly the gay left, have not built political institutions. So we looked at every organization in America that says it has some public policy goal around marriage or religious liberty. And we asked, okay, so how much of your money do you spend in politics affecting who wins an election? That's what politics is. It's not pastor organizing or 501c3 voter guides. Fundamentally, these are all fine things to do, but they're fundamentally, they circle around. Are you actually going to go into politics and elect your heroes and unelect your enemies? And the answer is 97 cents on every dollar we spend to affect public policy is a nonprofit 501c3 apolitical strategy. And the left doesn't do this. By the way, they don't do it at all. Like you just take the top three socially liberal organizations, Emily's List, Planned Parenthood, and Human Rights Campaign. And in the last election cycle, they spent $70 million just in PAC money, and social conservatives spent less than $10 million.
Right.
Every single organization in the country. So I would say we should give politics a chance before we conclude that it's useless. Right now, and it's a problem for everyone, the grassroots and the donors have nowhere to give because the organizations that claim to be political or are standing in and trying to be political aren't actually in politics. So that's just, a fundamental hole that has to be filled if we're not going to be persecuted in America as the ideology that our ideas are like racism and hatred unfold.
Well, just to give a concrete example of this, you do in your piece, but I want you to connect the dots for us.
Sure.
About, if you want to fight for this culture, if you want to fight for your value system, then you necessarily have to be involved in politics because the other side is aggressively pursuing it, and they're happy to roll right over you, as we see being done. But the example that you give about how the left does it versus how conservatives don't do it effectively is former Colorado Congresswoman Marilyn Musgrave. Give the Marilyn Musgrave case study to us.
Well, at one point in my life, I was probably the major spokesman fighting gay marriage. So I watched a lot of this unfold. And one of the things I watched unfold and I learned from, everything I know about politics, I learned from watching how the gay left actually operated. So Marilyn Musgrave was a Colorado congressman. She was one of the original sponsors of the federal marriage amendment, which would have said marriage is one man and one woman. Didn't say anything else. And would have prevented the Supreme Court from doing what it did to overturn our efforts in the states. But the left targeted her for her opposition to gay marriage. But they didn't fight her on that in her district. They knew that she was representing her voters. So instead, they just raised a bunch of money, and they dumped it in negative ads on her on all kinds of issues, including, as she told me personally, she said, they created fake pro-life organizations to demonstrate, to claim at least that I wasn't pro-life enough. And they did it in one election cycle, and they knocked down her numbers, so she barely hung on. And then they came back in the next election cycle, and they defeated her. And everyone in Congress knows, although the voters, even in her own district, probably don't know, is that the reason she lost is she was a spokesman against gay marriage. And it's an extremely effective way of shutting down one party on the issue, so that the Democrats are all in and they're pro-gay marriage, equality, love wins all, and the Republican Party is kind of silent and shy. They can't quite be for gay marriage because they know their voters won't tolerate it, but they won't speak because they don't want to become targets of the left.
Well, how has LGBT community tightened its hold on culture shaping?
Well, so one of the reasons why politics is more important for conservatives than it is for liberals is that liberals dominate most of the other means of culture creation. So one of the things I can tell you, because I was there, is that the problem wasn't really that our messages don't work. It's that they effectively shut down our ability to get our message out. So the more effective I was, or we were, working together in the state. So once we won California and Prop 8 in the year 2008, suddenly I was unable to get on Fox News. Suddenly I was unable to get on conservative radio. The major stations, the big boys with the big advertisers. And it took about another year before I suddenly wasn't able to get on CNN. And eventually I could only go on MSNBC, where they would openly treat me with contempt if I shut up. So, and I could give you other examples with other people, but the capacity to control what you see through Hollywood or Madison Avenue, and the big new thing is that corporations are now joining social liberals. So corporations, the Chamber of Commerce is the most effective and most public opponent of conscience protections for traditional believers in the state. And people are afraid that if they say anything, they'll lose their jobs. And nobody on the left has this fear. So, of course, we could talk about what's going on in colleges and the academy, but if you look at it, so politics, what I learned when I was very young and Ronald Reagan was elected president, is that politics is the way you can break through that messaging shutdown and learn that you're not alone, that other people have the same views and values as you do. And I think that is one reason why it's important to recognize, as Rod Dreher and the Benedict Option has said, that we are facing new threats to Christianity and to do a lot of things to build faithful communities who exemplify Christ. But one of the things we can't afford to do is retreat from politics. You have to learn how to do it better, how to do it real, how to do it as a subculture and a minority that really does need new protections. Because the fact that President Trump is not aggressively pursuing the same strategies to use government to oppress us doesn't mean the next president won't do it if there's not legislative protection. And without a real political movement, the GOP is going to be useless. It's not going to act.
She is Maggie Gallagher. She's a senior fellow at the American Principles Project. The piece you should check out that I tweeted at Dan Proft is Culture is Downstream from Politics, which you can also find at firstthings.com. Maggie, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, a Chicago dog gets a life-saving operation, and it needs a home, and I think Dan Proft would be the perfect father for this dog. But first, here's your forecast. Today, it's going to be breezy, clouds and sun, a high of 41 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 33. And for Friday, mostly cloudy, breezy, a little afternoon rain, and a high of 44 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. I miss you. Hello, Jim Talamonte.
That's close, but I'll take it. Inbound Eden's heavy, 32 minutes in from Lake Cook. Inbound Kennedy on the brakes from Montrose into the Burns Circle. Traffic pretty thick in that gap. 56 minutes in from O'Hare. 31 in from the Junction. 23 And the inbound express problems outbound beginning right out of the Burns Circle, slowing you into Harlem on the west end. 33 minutes downtown to Montrose, 52 out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike, an hour 6 in from Route 390. Delays outbound cost you time. Laramie to 25th. Inbound Stevenson, 56 minutes in from 355, while the inbound Ryan, a tad slow around 35th. And we're seeing some very heavy traffic northbound Tri-State. Brake lights from Cicero all the way to 47. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call. A borrower called me after contacting the lender who boasts about having the lowest rates and closing costs because he thought my competitors' closing costs were excessively high. I compared loan estimates and the interest rates were identical, but our definitions of low closing costs were a lot different. Fact is, my closing costs were over $1,000 less than the lender claiming to have the lowest closing costs. When purchasing a home, you can either work with the lender who talks and talks and talks and talks about low closing costs, or you can work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think of all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when we originate your loan, like pay for the movers, buy a new computer, new TV, maybe new carpet for your new house. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License 4358, and MLS 19186.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Federal, state, and excise tax matters are serious and need to be addressed, not ignored. You don't need scare tactics to know procrastination can lead to severe consequences. You need a tax solution partner who will provide an honest assessment of your unique situation and help implement a strategy that fits your circumstances. You need Tax Relief Inc. They've helped hundreds of satisfied customers like Mary.
Through a series of unfortunate circumstances, I found myself owing over $40,000 in back taxes. Tax Relief Inc. was able to negotiate an offer and compromise for $2,400 payable in 3 installments. I never would have been able to reach a settlement like this with the IRS. Thanks, Tax Relief Inc.
Ready for your tax problem relief? Deal directly with owner Joe Shadle of Tax Relief Inc. No salesperson or middleman, just an honest, local, and dependable partner to assist you with the resolution of your tax matter. Call Joe now for a free, no-obligation consultation at 630-655-1040. That's 630-655-1040. Or go to taxreliefinc.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We are so thrilled with this product. He was literally getting up, laying on the couch, and falling asleep. He's so alert. It's amazing. Totally amazing. This is a great product. His sodium levels have been low for, I would say, maybe close to 20 years. He's normal now. And this is the first time. And I can't even thank you enough.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. America's strength is that she's a free nation. Our weakness is we've stopped defending the foundations of our freedom. Non-behavioral characteristics like race and religion take precedence over shared beliefs as it relates to who is granted entrance to America, to the extent permission is required at all. This in spite of the fact that there is plenty of identity diversity that occurs naturally within a global population that shares a common commitment to peaceful pluralism. The temperature in K-12 is approaching Fahrenheit 451 as school districts move to ban literary masterworks like To Kill a Mockingbird because the language may offend. A recent survey of college undergrads finds 1 in 5 believes violence is acceptable to silence someone who makes a hurtful statement. Private property is seized by the state if you refuse to participate in events that violate your religious beliefs. You make too little. You make too much. You don't pay enough. You didn't build that. You need not apply. You must check your privilege. You must use these pronouns. You can't use those words. As Thomas Paine wrote, what we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. If we continue to acquiesce to those who would cheapen our freedoms, we will all pay dearly.
AM 560, The Answer.
The Lyric Opera's Turandot will transport you to ancient China at the Lyric Opera House. God, I said that like Trump. China. At the Lyric Opera House, December 5th through January 27th. When a powerful princess meets a fearless prince, 3 riddles could mean life or death. Experience Puccini's passionate Turandot in a grand-scale production never before seen in Chicago. For details and to buy tickets, visit lyricopera.org. That's lyricopera.org. And right now, be caller number what? To 312-642-5600 to win a pair of tickets. Dan, what caller number shall it be?
3. Got to be quick on the dial.
Quick. Oh, caller number 3. 312-642-5600 wins a pair of tickets to see Turandot at the Lyric Opera House. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll ask Steve Moore, WWRD, what would Reagan do on the tax reform proposal making its way through the House and the Senate? Certainly not what Senator Ron Johnson did. We'll discuss at 7:37.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Prosecutors here in Cook County plan to vacate convictions of 15 men. Claim a corrupt Chicago police sergeant manufactured evidence that landed them in prison. The men who petitioned the Cook County Criminal Court in September seeking to have those convictions turned aside were notified their request has been granted. Today's planned action is the latest chapter in a scandal that resulted in former Sergeant Ronald Watts' 2013 conviction for extorting money from drug dealers. Joshua Tepfer of the University of Chicago's Exoneration Project says Watts and others were responsible for 1,000 arrests in a decade-long reign of terror, according to Tepfer. Republicans in Washington this morning muscling their massive tax bill through the House. President Donald Trump urging them on to a critically needed legislative victory. The divide between Alabama and the National Republican Party has reached new depths. More allegations of sexual misconduct have surfaced against GOP Senate candidate Roy Moore. China is sending a special envoy to North Korea tomorrow for the first official visit between the two governments this year. The move comes after President Trump just ended his 13-day Asia trip where he called China to exert more pressure on North Korea. Authorities continue their search for a missing suburban woman from Mokina. Will County sheriffs say Caitlin Kearns was last seen Monday leaving her job at a bar in Joliet. And a new report says the state of Illinois will be one of the next states to legalize marijuana. It's a report filed by 24/7 Wall Street, listing Illinois among the 15 states that are most likely to legalize marijuana only because the state needs the $350 to $700 million a year in taxes that it would produce. Blackhawks over the Rangers 6-3 last night. Bulls offense dreadful in a loss to the Thunder 92-79. College football on AM 560. NIU now 8-3. Huskies over Western Michigan 85-31. Northwestern in college hoops fell to Creighton 92-88. The news is a service of Indeed.com. Are you hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. You can post a job in minutes, manage your candidates from an easy-to-use dashboard. Post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. 7:33. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The private bank is now CIBC. Their name may have changed, but their commitment to your business is now stronger than ever. Visit CIBC.com/US. Member FDIC.
I want you to put something on your to-do list, and it's to go see the movie Wonder. I read the book last year after my daughter called me in tears saying, "Mom, you've got to read this right now." Well, she was right. I did, and it's one of the most heartwarming, life-affirming, beautiful stories, and now it's a movie. It stars Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson, and Wonder is the true story of August Pullman, or Augie, as he's known to his family. Augie was born with facial differences, and after a lot of surgeries, his family held their breath as he entered public school in the 5th grade.
Prepare for blast off. Have fun.
Wonder will make you laugh. You will cry. You'll give thanks for a film that celebrates life, love, kindness, and grace. I haven't loved a movie this much in a long time, and I know you're going to feel the same way.
What excites me about this movie is that it teaches other people to choose kind, and hopefully it'll make the world a better place.
Do not miss Wonder, opening this Friday in a theater near you.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179. Or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
7:36. Let's get an update on that morning commute now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Well, it's not going too well, especially on the inbound side of the Kennedy. We're added up to 56 minutes already in from O'Hare, 31 in from the junction, 23 and slow in the inbound express. The bulk of the delay between Montrose and the Burn Circle. Same story headed outward. Tie-ups between the Burn Circle and the junction. Also heavy Montrose to Harlem on the west end, 33 minutes downtown to Montrose, 52 out to O'Hare. Double-digit delays continue on the inbound Ike. It's an hour 6 in from Route 390, while the inbound Stevenson, slow delays. First Avenue to Kedzie, 56 minutes in from 355, 46 in from the Tri-State. Inbound Ryan, not too bad comparing that to everything else, 21 minutes in from 95th, and those heavy delays continue on the northbound side of the Tri-State. Brake lights from Cicero all the way to 47th. Traffic's a service of Chevrolet. It's the Chevy Closeout, and the 2017s are going fast. Find special closeout pricing on many of the most popular 2017 Chevy models. Visit your local Chevy dealer and trade up to a new car, truck, or crossover today. Chevrolet, find new roads. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Breezy day ahead. We'll have times of clouds and sun, but our high will only top out at 41 and will tumble down to the low 30s overnight. 33 at O'Hare, 34 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Once upon a time, before the last major tax reform package was pushed through the Congress, a young man from Dixon, by way of Tampico, Ronald Wilson Reagan.
By way of Eureka College.
Well, correct, yeah. He addressed the nation in 1985 to make the case for tax reform proposal. And listen to what President Reagan laid out back in 85.
We're reducing tax rates by simplifying a complex system of special provisions that favor some at the expense of others. Restoring confidence in our tax system means restoring and respecting the principle of fairness for all. This means curtailing some business deductions now being written off. It means ending several personal deductions, including the state and local tax deduction, which actually provides a special subsidy for high-income individuals, especially in a few high-tax states. 2/3 of Americans don't even itemize, so they receive no benefit from the state and local tax deduction. But they're being forced to subsidize the high-tax policies of a handful of states. This is truly taxation without representation.
Taxation without representation. Those assaults, not to be confused with Strategic Arms Limitation Talks Treaty. These acronyms, have multiple applications. Talking about state and local tax deductions, of course, because we're talking about the tax proposal that is scheduled to make its way through the House today, although with the Senate, the prospects are dimming with Ron Johnson surprisingly leading the opposition, announcing yesterday, the first Republican senator to announce that he is not going to support, quote, I'm not going to vote for this tax package. Pretty unequivocal.
Because he says it doesn't help small businesses.
Doesn't like the pass-through provisions, and I don't think he likes the state and local tax deduction cap either. For more on this topic and where the plan stands and whether or not Republicans are going to manage yet another policy failure while in the majority, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Steve Moore, Chief Economist for the Heritage Foundation. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy. By the way, I was there in 85 and 86 when Reagan did that historic tax reform, and that's a great clip you guys found. I mean, he's exactly right. So here we are, 32 years later, and we're still letting these high-tax states like Illinois and like California and New York write off their taxes. It's an outrage. And look, I don't understand quite why Senator Johnson has now said he's not necessarily for this tax cut, but I'll say this: I think that I think in the end he'll be there. I think this is going to get done. And by the way, I think the big new initiative is getting rid of this Obamacare tax. I think it's a stroke of genius.
The mandate,
it's a really smart thing because look, what this does is it basically is a tax on low income. The Obamacare tax is a tax on low income people. So and it forces people to buy insurance that they don't want and can't afford. So I think that was I debated Ezekiel Emanuel yesterday. Do you know who he is?
Oh, Zeke, sure, yeah, Dr. Death, 75 and out.
How are you doing a favor to people by forcing them to buy insurance that they don't want? And he was saying, oh, well, I know better than they do. This is good for them, and so on. So, I mean, what hypocrites these liberals are. They keep saying it's a tax cut for rich people, and then they do a tax cut for poor people, and they're against that, too.
But when it comes to the individual mandate, I mean, don't we need everybody to be in the pool to keep prices down, to keep the premiums down?
No. Amy, what we need is affordable health care. We need a health care where everyone can buy the insurance package of their choice. We want everybody to have maximum competition, maximum choice, and we don't have that right now in the healthcare market. The people who are affected by the individual mandate, these are a lot of the lower income people, and there are also a lot of young people. They could buy. This is the amazing thing. We are subsidizing people to buy Obamacare, right? And we're taxing them if they don't buy Obamacare, and they still don't want it. That's how bad Obamacare is. And so the only way they can get people to buy Obamacare policies is to metaphorically stick a gun to their head and saying, you've got to buy this insurance.
Well, yeah, so the carrot, and neither the carrot nor the stick is working on buying Obamacare, but it doesn't seem like it's working with Congress either. I know you said, I think Ron Johnson will ultimately be there. I heard a lot of that in advance of Obamacare replace, and it didn't happen. And you get this sinking feeling that the prospects for it happening in the Senate are also sinking, despite the fact that, the outside observer says, well, of course they have to do this. This is a major policy agenda item that has to get done. Otherwise, they're risking their majorities in November of 18. And they say they believe that to be the case. But it just seems like they're preternaturally unable to come together and act in furtherance of salvaging themselves and advancing the policy flag on this issue.
Yeah, look, it's very simple. They have to get this done. It has to get done this year. It has to get done before Christmas. And the problem with Ron Johnson saying, well, I don't like this or that provision of the bill, is if everybody is saying, well, I can't live with this, I can't live with that, you're never going to get the 50 votes. And at some point, this has to be a gut check moment for the party. And they also have to stand together and hang together and get this thing done. Is it a great bill? No, but it's a good bill, and it's going to help small business. It cuts the corporate tax rate. It allows immediate expensing for businesses, so for their capital purchases, and then of course it does for the families. It saves about $2,500 per family in terms of, if you make $60,000 to $100,000, you're going to save about $2,500. So that's a good tax cut, and just get the damn thing done.
Well, House votes on the bill today, but then again, it goes to the Senate, and Corker and Collins haven't really said what side they're on as well. Are you hearing anything from them?
They want to get it done. They're hearing a lot of flack from their constituents back in Tennessee and Maine. And I think they want to get it done. The problem is they have to start getting serious about it. Now we've got a problem, by the way, with Alabama. If we lose that Senate seat, which it looks like they may very well do, then the new senator is sworn in by December 13th. They got to get the thing passed now before December 13th, because I'm sure the Democrat isn't going to vote for it. So I don't know. I'm a little frustrated. This should have been done many months ago, but I still think they're going to get it done before Christmas. I do. I think they're doing it the hard way, but I think they're going to get it done.
Is the fundamental problem that some of these senators are feeling heat from a politically potent, if minority part of their electorate, which is sort of the upwardly mobile, working rich, if you will, the people that are making decent six-figure salaries that are really going to be the ones largely financing the relief for middle-income families?
Well, what you're hearing now is the swamp creatures that don't want tax reform, right? These are the businesses that, these are the realtors, the home builders. The state and local governments hate this because they want the federal government to subsidize 40% of their costs. So that's what's happening now is the special interest groups are like hives, and they're coming out against this, and some of the Republicans are flinching in terms of dealing with that. And we've got to put the special interests aside, give a tax cut for businesses, give a tax cut for individuals. If you do this, it will help grow the economy. The economy's already growing at 3% under Trump. I think if you get this thing passed, you add another 0.5 percentage point of growth. So you get to 3.5% growth. That's a big deal.
Can you distill what Ron Johnson's specific problem is? Because he talked with how pass-through businesses are treated, because the rate is cut for them to 25%. What exactly does he want that he's not getting?
He has a legitimate right. The tax cut for small businesses is not as good as when I put this plan together for Trump with Larry Kudlow, we had a 15% tax rate on small business. Mm-hmm. And now they're saying you've got a 25% rate, but you only get that on 30% of your income. So, Dan and Amy, that's a 35% tax rate for these businesses. So that's not a big tax
marginal,
cut for small businesses. Yeah.
Right.
Well, Senator Johnson got a phone call last night from President Trump, so don't know yet if he'll change his mind. But what again, the millions of middle-income people, the left keeps saying that they can end up seeing a tax increase. How is that possible?
If you itemize your deductions and you live in a very, very high-tax state like Illinois and Minnesota and New York and California, you might pay up. But look, 2/3, as you just played from that clip, it was true then, it's true today when Reagan said it, 2/3 of Americans don't even itemize their deductions. So the only people who really itemize and get the big benefit of all these tax breaks are the very rich.
All right. He is Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, chief economist for the Heritage Foundation. Steve, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a great weekend, guys. See you soon.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up, why Dan should adopt a dog that's just recently had a sex change operation. But first, here's your forecast. Breezy times of clouds, some sun, a high of 41 degrees. Tonight it's going to be cloudy, a low of 33. If you have feral cats, turn the heating pads on for them. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy and breezy. Little afternoon rain, a high of 44. Now let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Dominic Fortini, who's in for Jim Telemonte.
Backing up on the inbound Kennedy, it's pretty stiff between Montrose and the Burn Circle. An hour 8 in from O'Hare, 46 in from the junction, a half hour in the inbound express lanes. Outbound delays reach from the Burn Circle out to Harlem on the west end, 52 minutes downtown out to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower, trouble spots remain. Mannheim to the Burn Circle, an hour 7 in from Route 390, while the inbound side of the Stevenson, Heavy from 1st Avenue to Kedzie. That's 56 minutes in from 355. Inbound Bishop Ford taps the brakes at Sibley. Southbound Lakeshore heavy at Bryn Mawr. And we've got some big-time delays. Northbound Tri-State, solid traffic between Cicero and 47th. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gevalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile Premium Device Protection as of July 12, 2017. SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to SquareTrade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. SquareTrade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to SquareTrade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to SquareTrade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751, or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Check out GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. GalloLiquidators.com. That's GALLO Liquidators.com. Gallo reprocesses store returns, closeouts, and shelf pulls, then lists them online starting at just $1. Auctions begin every Thursday, featuring a constantly changing variety of merchandise, tools, antiques, electronics, housewares, and much, much more. GalloLiquidators.com. It's an easy-to-use online platform featuring store returns from some of the nation's largest retailers at a fraction of the price to you, the customer. Pickup location is just blocks from downtown St. Charles. Families love coming in every weekend to pick up their auction winnings. Gallo also accepts all types of consignments. Nationwide shipping is now available. Don't miss out. Visit GalloLiquidators.com, DuPage County's online auction destination. That's GalloLiquidators.com. GALLO Liquidators.com.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
I hate cleaning my gutters. I kept hearing ads for that gutter guard system, so I thought, why not? I'll get an estimate. I was shocked. I never thought gutter guards could cost so much. Then I heard about Spring Rock gutter guards. The estimate is free, so it made sense to at least compare them. I was shocked again by how much money they saved me. I'm talking thousands, like enough to take my family to Disney World. They take a different approach to gutter protection. A completely closed design keeps all types of debris out of your gutters. Sure, those higher-priced systems may keep the leaves out, but Spring Rock gets the job done at up to half the price with no compromise on quality. Spring Rock also comes with the same lifetime warranty. If the gutter system ever clogs, they will clean it out for free, no questions asked. Same result for less money. That's smart. There's more than one option when it comes to gutter guards. Compare today and save at springrockgutters.com or call 708-571-0632. Special financing is available. Drain your gutters, not your wallet.
Here at HealthQuest, our high standard of healthcare doesn't come from a sickness care perspective, and neither should yours. And if you're not as healthy as you should be, and you're sick and tired of those health challenges, please call us. As we say here at HealthQuest, don't just stand there, do something. Do something good for yourself. Just this one time. This is Dr. David Kobaba. If you're like me and my wonderful HealthQuest staff, well, we know how much you love helping others in this challenging world of ours. Now, if you could raise your level of health and wellness, well then you could be of greater service to those you know and love. What a great perspective, but you've got to put this intention into action. So just don't stand there. Do something. Call our HealthQuest radio hotline right now, 1-800-794-1855. Do it now for yourself and a better future with higher health. 1-800-794-1855.
I want you to put something on your to-do list, and it's to go see the movie Wonder. I read the book last year after my daughter called me in tears saying, "Mom, you've got to read this right now." Well, she was right. I did, and it's one of the most heartwarming, life-affirming, beautiful stories, and now it's a movie. It stars Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson, and Wonder is the true story of August Pullman, or Augie, as he's known to his family. Augie was born with facial differences, and after a lot of surgeries, his family held their breath as he entered public school in the 5th grade.
Prepare for blast off. Have fun.
Wonder will make you laugh. You will cry. You'll give thanks for a film that celebrates life, love, kindness, and grace. I haven't loved a movie this much in a long time, and I know you're going to feel the same way.
What excites me about this movie is that it teaches other people to choose kind, and hopefully it'll make the world a better place.
Do not miss Wonder, opening this Friday in a theater near you.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, they got a few calls in response to our discussion with Steve Moore about where things stand with the GOP tax plan. Patty and Wilmette, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Patty.
Patty.
Patty and Wilmette going once, going twice. Albert on the north side.
Dan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. I disagree with the caller who said that, or the guest, rather, with his comment that only 1/3 of filers itemize, and therefore it's something that only the rich people benefit from.
No, it's not only. I think he just said it's disproportionately. There's a lot more upper income families who itemize as compared to middle and lower income. I mean, I think it's
a homeowner can do it easier than a renter can do it.
I understand, but I'm just by the numbers, 2014, 46% of people 50 to 100 grand itemized compared to 81% over 100 grand and 92% over 500 grand. That's what Steve Moore was referencing.
Okay, but as you get into those upper income brackets, you get fewer and fewer people as well.
No question.
Isn't it true?
No question. Yes.
Yeah. But so the thing is, more people, I think, could do it if they would keep records of things like their charitable contributions and their medical expenses. And, of course, the tax that we pay to our friends in Springfield and all that.
Yeah.
And all that. But, I'm being, I guess, a little bit defensive, but that's,
Well, no, Albert, I appreciate your point. Thanks for the call, because as someone I assume you itemize, what Seymour said is those people who do and live in a high-tax state like Illinois, they're not going to see much relief, if any. They may see an increase because of precisely that. Call it the Illinois penalty.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
A leftist egghead thinks that Mother Earth should be sterilized at 8:08.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, murder charges dropped after an ex-Chicago police officer plans to plead the fifth. Prosecutors are dismissing 15 convictions tied to a corrupt former Chicago police officer. Authorities continue their search for a missing Mokina woman. Chicago sports found the Thunder beating the Bulls and the Blackhawks cooling off the Rangers. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
They want to make filing less taxing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
9 out of 10 Americans will be able to fill out their taxes on a form the size of a postcard.
House Speaker Paul Ryan confident the Republican plan will pass today, saying it'll lower taxes on most Americans and on businesses, stimulating the economy. Not a single Democrat supports it. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
We cannot let them do this. And by the way, say this is a tax cut for the middle class. Not true.
President Trump wants to be part of the action today. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump heads to the Hill to meet with House Republicans before they vote on their version of tax reform. Passage is near certain in the House, but Republican Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson is a no vote on the Senate bill because he says it favors big corporations over small businesses.
Bottom line, there's a real problem here in terms of the equitable treatment of pastor entities.
White House sources say they're focusing all their energy on the Senate with little concern about the House vote. Dave?
John, the president tweeted a short time ago, China is sending an envoy and delegation to North Korea. A big move. We'll see what happens. He said yesterday.
We will not allow this twisted dictatorship to hold the world hostage.
On his Asian trip, the president urged China to do more to end the North Korean nuclear threat. Republicans continue to press for a second special counsel to investigate Hillary Clinton's email exoneration, the anti-Trump dossier, and an Obama-era uranium deal.
Hillary Clinton shouldn't be above the law. We need to get to the bottom of it, and we intend to do that.
Congressman Mark Meadows. Clinton has responded.
This Uranium One story has been debunked countless times.
Telling Mother Jones.
This is such an abuse of power.
There's a $60,000 reward in Baltimore as a manhunt continues.
This callous coward with a gun in his hand shot a cop in the head.
Police Commissioner Kevin Davis, the officer's in grave condition on life support. Fox News, fair and balanced.
33 degrees, skies are cloudy. We have a wind chill of 24 above as winds are gusting out of the northwest at 11. At 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Prosecutors in Cook County plan to vacate the convictions of 15 men, claim a corrupt Chicago police sergeant manufactured the evidence that landed them in prison. The men who petitioned the Cook County Criminal Court in September seeking to have convictions overturned and set aside were notified their request has been granted. Today's planned action is the latest chapter in a scandal that resulted in former Sergeant Ronald Watts' 2013 conviction for extorting money from drug dealers. A man sent to prison for a double murder in Chicago is free after spending nearly 30 years behind bars. Jose Masonette walked out of the Cook County Jail last night, arrested in 1990 for the killing of two brothers. Prosecutors dropped the charges after 5 former Chicago police officers indicated they would plead the fifth and refuse to testify during his upcoming retrial. Mayor Emanuel is refusing to rule out the need for a fare hike by the CTA, as AM 560's David Stewart reports.
The RTA is recommending that the CTA raise fares next year to make up for a cut in state funding and sales tax revenue. Mayor Emanuel isn't ruling it out, but he says the agency should seek other savings before talking about fare hikes.
There'll be no service cuts. 2, I want you to report back what is in the central office that can be eliminated, cut, or pulled back from. And until that's done, there will be no discussion with me.
It's been 8 years since the general CTA fare increase. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago sports found the Blackhawks over the Rangers 6-3. The Bulls fell to the Thunder in the NBA 92-79. College football here on AM 560. Our Northern Illinois Huskies now 8-3 in the MAC with a 35-31 win over Western Michigan. The news, a service of SoFi. Don't let student loan debt slow you down. Refinance with SoFi. Members save $280 a month on average. Learn more at SoFi.com/traffic. Terms, conditions, and state restrictions apply. CFL license number 6054612. 8:04 time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, more people were shopping at Walmart in the summer and early fall, and now Walmart says this year will be stronger than it previously predicted. Its overall sales increased more than 2.5%, stronger than expected, but its online sales increased by 50%. Walmart's earnings were also stronger than expected. The story is not as rosy at Best Buy. Its quarter was weaker than expected, even though sales increased. Best Buy says recent natural disasters cut into its business. If you couldn't get a phone call to connect last night on AT&T, you had a lot of company. AT&T says its wireless network experienced a widespread failure. The company isn't saying how many people were affected or what caused the outage. The company says users should restart devices, and that should resolve the issue. The Dow closed down 138 yesterday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:05. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder is continually dumbfounded by the media.
The Harvey Weinstein scandal is now being used by the left to say, well, Donald Trump did the same thing. So we've elected Donald Trump. We've done Harvey Weinstein. The issue is really not just what's going on in Hollywood. The issue is, well, Donald Trump.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
8:07. And a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. In for Jim, here's Dominic.
Outbound Eden slowing. It's a half hour from Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound delays on the Kennedy begin right around Nagel all the way downtown. It's an hour 8 in from O'Hare, 46 in from the junction, a half hour in the inbound express lanes. Outbound thick delays begin out of the Burn Circle through the junction. Then you're heavy on the west end between Montrose and Harlem. Schedule 32 minutes downtown to Montrose, 52 if you're headed downtown out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike, an hour 7 in from Route 390, while the inbound Stevenson's on the brakes at First Avenue through the Ryan. It's an hour 3 in from 355. Brake lights continue on the inbound Ryan near 47th, 24 minutes in from 95th. And extended delays northbound Tri-State between Cicero now and 31st Street. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast, a service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, testing supplies from all the major brands. Where is it convenient? Where do I matter? At Walgreens. At the corner of happy and healthy. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, periods of clouds and sun, high 41, overcast tonight, low 33. Tomorrow, cloudy and breezy, little rain for the afternoon, high 44. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm tomorrow night with a low 43. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
34 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is powered by CharlesEquipment.com. Weathering every storm and keeping the lights on.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and a question for you. Should we sterilize Mother Earth? You know, this from the perspective of the environmentalists. Mother Gaia is their god. Environmentalism is their religion. This piece, op-ed by Travis Reeder, who is a PhD at the director of the Master of Bioethics degree program at the Berman Institute of Bioethics. This is at Johns Hopkins.
Okay.
Science proves kids are bad for the earth. Morality suggests we stop having them.
Wow. Forced sterilization, 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
No, he doesn't go that far because, of course, he's civilized. He wants you to come to that conclusion yourself that having a large number of kids, having a big family, is self-indulgent and morally suspect. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Having a child is a major contributor to climate change. The logical takeaway here is that everyone on Earth ought to consider having fewer children. This guy is going to be a big hit in China.
Yeah.
Although culturally controversial, the scientific half of this position is well established. Having a child, especially for the world's wealthy, Amy, is one of the worst things you can do for the environment.
Dan, this is why you don't have children. Now we have figured out the answer.
Because I care about the planet, unlike some people.
Well, personally, I didn't have more children because I couldn't afford more children. I'd have to. No, I mean, I'd have to get a bigger house. I wouldn't have to. Yeah, I'd have to get a bigger house, and they're expensive.
Well,
you know, they eat food, and now that they're
right?
going through puberty, they're eating me out of house and home. I have to put a padlock on the pantry.
It's been so long for me, I've forgotten. I don't remember if I did or did not eat when I was a young man.
Then you have to clothe them.
But you're missing the real point here.
Okay, Dan.
It's not about food and clothing and shelter. It's about carbon footprint. Having a child adds to one's carbon footprint. And we all have a personal carbon ledger for which we're responsible for. So you're expanding your carbon footprint through Peyton's carbon footprint, through Eli's carbon footprint. Let me try and analogize this for you to drive it home. All right.
Okay.
By recounting the deep thinker, the pilot higher and deeper over at Johns Hopkins, Travis Reeder. If I release a murderer from prison, knowing full well that he intends to kill innocent people, then I bear some responsibility for those deaths. Correspondingly, if I have a child, although that person is an autonomous agent, she will be responsible for her emissions, but that doesn't negate my moral responsibility for her carbon footprint as well. It is the same thing as releasing a murderer from prison, having a child. This is the argument. You might eventually admit that having children is wrong, or at least morally suspect, for standard environmental reasons. Having a child imposes high emissions on the world, while the parents get the benefit. So with any high-cost luxury, we should limit our indulgence. Do you find your
high-cost luxury? A luxury?
Would you describe?
Not right now.
Yeah. Would you describe Peyton and Eli and our friends listening ice? Would you describe your children as high-cost luxury goods? 312-642-5600.
They're high cost, not a luxury right now. I told Andrew or Peyton the other day because he turned 14 and immediately we're button heads, and I said, you know what? I think we'll get along great if we don't talk for 4 years.
Yeah. Sounds like you're really enjoying your luxury good.
It's a luxury item, yes, yeah. That is spectacular.
Uh-huh.
So what do we do? I mean, I understand, I lived in northern Minnesota, and I was friends with Bonnie Waldorf. She was one of 17 kids because they had more children because they needed help on the farm.
That's like serial killing, according to
I mean, that's a litter.
according to the Professor Rita.
But I'm saying that's why a lot of families.
Facing a murderer from prison, okay. But he concludes his piece by saying, I'm certainly not arguing we should shame parents. No, of course
No,
not.
there's no shaming.
Comparing him to a released murderer. Or even that we're obligated to have a certain number of children. I don't think there's a tidy answer for the challenging questions of procreative ethics, but that does not mean we're off the moral hook. This is him attempting to present a thought-provoking question when you treat human life as nothing more than a autonomous carbon footprint and a carbon footprint that corresponds to the procreators.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the left. That's where you genuflect and you worship Mother Earth. That's environmentalism as religion. That's what we're replacing they found the religious foundations of our country with. You on board for that? Don in Bloomingdale.
Morning, guys. Typical academic creating a problem that doesn't exist. I literally watched this on the Discovery Channel last night. Japan is having such a population decrease that they're paying young people to have kids.
Yeah.
Nobody's having kids over there. They're going to reduce their population by 33% in the next 25 years.
Yeah, no, that's right, Don. I think Japan's a perfect example of the demographic death spiral. What the replacement rate, I think, is 2.1 kids per family, and Japan's is like 1.2. As Mark Stein famously said in which one was his book? Not America Alone, the one before that. I'm blanking on it. But anyway, Japan would have been better to invent the walker rather than the Walkman, because their population is getting old and it's not replacing itself, and they're going to make themselves extinct as a people, and thus they're taking the dramatic action that Don just described, incentivizing people to have kids and have family. Bill in Skokie.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. I mean, whoever this author was, he never must have fathered a child. I mean, just last night, I'm a new parent, but waking up 6 times during the night, I don't know what luxury wakes you up middle of the night, cries all day.
Poops.
What luxury? It's called sacrifice to better the world in the future.
Yeah, to keep the family name alive. Keep the family name.
Well, that's it.
What are you doing, Dan, to keep your family name alive?
That's the whole labeling. You're just worrying about the Jacobson brand rather than the planet. So selfish. Tim and Darian.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Amy. No, I just wanted to comment that my 5 kids are going to be paying Travis Reeder's Social Security, and yours too, Dan.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Hey,
sure thing.
Give them some ice cream after dinner tonight on me. I appreciate that. Thanks for the call, Tim. Appreciate it. Larry and Bartlett.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Does that now mean that people who haven't been born still get to vote in Chicago?
It's a great question. Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know. We have to run that up the flagpole. Thanks, Larry. David on the north side.
Yeah, thanks for taking the call. 2 things. One is more kids could be a little more meals for Pritzker.
Yes, and more extras for his commercials, right? That's a good point.
Exactly, right. Yeah, exactly. And secondly, the Ponzi scheme that we run by in this whole situation is, without them, how are you going to get paid?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the call, David. Who's gonna pick up those unfunded public sector pension obligations? Coming from an academic of no less, although he is at Johns Hopkins. Chris in St. Charles.
Oh, hey, how are you guys doing? I have 4 boys, and they are not luxury. Not even. They asked for.
What? They what? They said they.
Oh, they took over his phone.
Oh, they asked for luxury items. I think you said.
And then they're just
not
commandeered the phone and took it away from him because they needed to use it.
Tom in Barrington.
Good morning, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Hey, great job on Saturday, by the way.
Thank you.
regarding
talking to me.
people who are profoundly disturbed with the carbon emissions, I've been saying this for years. Just quit exhaling.
Exactly.
Do us all a favor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
Stop
call,
breathing
Tom.
right now.
Well, I mean, if they're going to have to be sacrifices to save the planet. So, Tom could be onto something. John in Lincolnwood.
Hi, Dan and Amy. How are you?
Good.
Good.
I love the article you just read. I guess I have 3 kids, so I'm a triple murderer or homicide murderer or whatever.
Something like that.
Homicidal tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah. How ridiculous are the scientists? They have nothing else better to do. Why don't they figure out how to lower property taxes? That would help me.
Thanks for the call, John. Well, here's the thing too. Dan Savage, this Dickensian named gay rights activist. He has previously proposed, he's one of these EPGers, zero population growth, these ghouls, like Zeke Emanuel and others. Dan Savage previously proposed mandatory abortion. Now, of course, he's exempt, right? Everybody who's here is exempt. But he wants mandatory abortion because we have too many fracking people on this planet. That's Dan Savage. It's false. It's always been false.
He doesn't know anything. What does he know about love?
Paul Ehrlich's population bomb was a dud. So any of your leftist Mother Gaia worshipping ZPGers, inform their ignorance. Steve in Naperville.
It's kind of funny how often people in academics fail to reproduce, but maybe it's not such a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Steve. Yeah. Would be interesting to see how many kids Mr. Riedel has, if any.
I don't think he has any kids because, he doesn't.
He references, like, my daughter, but I think he's using that just as an example. I don't know if he's actually has a
You've got
daughter.
fake kids, too, right?
It's true.
Your invisible children.
Just like I have fake best friends. Beth and Roselle.
Hi. I have 2 comments. I mean, should we start just letting people die of cancer? I mean, if they get an illness that's a deadly illness, we should just let them die. And what about the child? If we don't have those children, maybe they're the ones that do come up with the cure for these horrible diseases.
Imagine that. Thanks for the call. Yeah, thanks for the call, Beth. Yeah, exactly. And that's why Zeke Emanuel's 75 and out threshold is a little disturbing, I'd say, in addition to the push for euthanasia it's really accelerated in Europe, but it's coming to the more leftist states, particularly in the West, California, the Pacific Northwest. I mean, people become inconvenient. Not just let them die. You got to get these people out, get rid of them. That's where it's going. Rich in Woodstock.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Is you were talking about letting mass murderers out of prison. Well, they're more socially and environmentally acceptable. They're reducing people's carbon footprint, aren't they?
Yeah. Thanks, Rich. Matt in Bartlett.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Dan. Hello. I wanted to comment that if you do care about carbon footprint, then we should be having more children in developed countries. It's the kids growing up in developed countries that are going to develop the technologies into solar, into wind technology, into these battery technologies that are ultimately going to make the world a greener place.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, Matt. Thanks for the call. And it's also, to Matt's point, it's all why in the U.S., we've seen a reduction in our carbon emissions over the last couple of decades, while, say, an underdeveloped, centrally planned communist country like China, that's got 1 billion people, is seeing an explosion in their emissions as they try and industrialize and keep pace with the needs of their population. Of course, they can't do it because they've got a fundamentally flawed model. Jeff and Gurnee.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for taking my call. What's going to happen to all the tree huggers? Because if people stop exhaling, how are the plants going to survive?
Yeah, yes.
There's no foresight in that logic. But have a great day and a great weekend.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you for the circle of life argument, Simba. Paul in Palatine.
Hey, Dan and Amy, love your show. Just wanted to share that the entire population of the Earth could live in Texas at the current population density rate of Manhattan. So there's plenty of room.
Bingo. Thanks, Paul.
There's too many people on this earth. We need a new plague.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, I have found the perfect dog for Dan. But first, here's your forecast for today. Cloudy, kind of gloomy out there and raw. High of 41 degrees tonight. Mostly cloudy, a low of 33. And for Friday, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies, breezy, rain in the afternoon. Sorry, no sunshine. A high of 44 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center now. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Inbound side of the Kennedy on the brakes between Nagel and the Burns Circle, an hour 2 in from O'Hare, 42 in from the Junction, 35 in the inbound express. Outbound still slows between Damon and Harlem. It's 28 minutes downtown to Montrose, but 49 if you're heading now to O'Hare. Again, on that west end, you're tied up between Montrose and Harlem. Inbound Ike, an hour 7 in from Route 390, while the inbound Ryan remains heavy near 47th into the Burns Circle. Scheduled 24 minutes, 95th in. Northbound Lakeshore Drive experiencing delays between the Stevenson and Jackson. An elevated travel time still on the northbound side of the tri-state between Ridgeland and 31st, while northbound 355's on the brakes between 55 and 88. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Gentlemen, it's No Shave Movember. Time to change the face of your health for the better. Take the first step and get your levels checked by someone you can trust. I personally recommend my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. The service was fantastic. Their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men for low testosterone levels. At Low T Center, they know we hate going to the doctor. That's why they make it quick and easy. With their on-site lab, you get results back in about 20 minutes, and most health insurance is accepted. This Movember, Low T Center is offering a testosterone and prostate level test with an assessment for just $50. Guys, take this first step. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago, on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's 312-239-3427. Call now, 312-239-3427, and then Amy will take you out for lunch at La Briola afterwards. Or go to lowtcenter.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
By the time I reached 1 year period, I had lost 2 inches off my waist, and I lost 17 pounds.
I think they're part of the reason that I was able to shake 10 pounds, and I think because the support, nutritional support. My blood pressure significantly is so low now compared to what it was. I think I'm doing great with it.
You've got a good product. It's just amazing.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today.
With the holidays approaching, now's the perfect time to purchase 2 gifts and only pay for 1. Or give a gift and keep 1 for yourself. Yes, folks, the MyPillow buy 1, get 1 free offer is back. I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love my MyPillows. I get a great night's sleep by moving the fill to give me the support I need, regardless of my sleep position. And I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic. Plus, have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. And it's great to know you're supporting a company that helped thousands of hurricane victims. So get your buy 1, get 1 free MyPillows as gifts or for yourself by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile Premium Device Protection as of July 12, 2017. Square Trade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to Square Trade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. Square Trade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to Square Trade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to Square Trade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Amy, Colonel Oliver North was in town for our Freedom Fest Palooza Fair Summit over the weekend.
Gathering, yeah.
And I had a chance to sit down with him and do a one-on-one. That's at upstream-ideas.com if you want to check it out. Really engaging guy. Gave a great talk.
Oh, and I heard great reviews. Yeah. Everybody loved him.
And one of the best parts of the speech that I enjoyed the most was where he talked about, since we were talking about kids, what he does, what he gives each one of his grandchildren. I think he's got 17, so he's another one who doesn't care about the planet like you.
Right.
He gives each one of his grandchildren, when they turn age 14, a box with 3 items in it.
I give them a box, and on the box is a note that says, if you learn to use all 3 things in this box, you'll never go hungry, you'll never be lost, and you need fear nothing. And they open the box, and they find inside the box a Holy Bible, and tucked into the Bible is the Constitution. They find a lensatic compass and a map, and they find a 20-gauge shotgun. And, of course, the first thing they want to use is the shotgun.
Not the compass?
Not the compass. Yeah. And, of course, it just happens. I don't believe in coincidences, you might imagine. It just happens that there are 31 Proverbs. And there's probably the best guidance a young person. In fact, they're written for a young person. Solomon wrote them for his sons. And but they're equally important for, particularly the Proverbs 31, to women especially. So I said that today's the 11th of November. Come back and see me on the 10th of December and give me a book report. Oh. And then if I'm satisfied with that, I'll teach them how to use the compass and the map, because we live in topography where you can actually see the topo lines.
Okay.
And the west slope of the Blue Ridge Mountains along the Shenandoah River. And then I'll teach them how to take apart the shotgun, put it back together, clean it, and then how to shoot it. So they'll never be hungry, they'll never be lost, and they need fear nothing.
And they'll, be on their sporting clays or trap skeet shooting team in high school or whatever.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, and I want...
That's what I got for my birthday.
I want one of those boxes. I asked Ollie North I want one of those boxes, too, even though I already have it. Well, I have a 12-gauge, but...
yeah, no, what a great gift
and
for a young man or young girl.
Yeah, both. And Proverbs 31, by the way, of course, talks, among other things, about a virtuous woman being more valuable than rubies, and that's what he was referencing. Anyway, so it was fun, and you can get the whole interview with Ollie North at upstream-ideas.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, he's back. Bob Fioretti wants to be your Cook County Board president. And later, yes, we will get to the sex change dog operation story that happened here in Chicago. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Clouds and 33 degrees. All eyes here in Chicago on the Cook County Criminal Courts building later this morning, where prosecutors will vacate the convictions of 15 men who claim a corrupt Chicago police sergeant, Ronald Watts, manufactured evidence that landed them in prison. Today's action is the latest chapter in the Watts scandal. Watts himself was convicted in 2013 for extorting money from drug dealers. Senate Republicans defending their plan to repeal a key part of Obamacare in that big tax bill, but it's not included in the House version. Republican Representative from Oklahoma, Tom Cole, saying the 2 chambers will solve that problem.
Look, we're moving through the normal legislative process. It's actually a Senate proposal, as you know. Right. So we'll see what they actually come up with and whether they put it in the bill, and then we'll go to conference and work it out.
Cole on MSNBC opening a hearing today. Utah Republican Senator Orrin Hatch says the individual mandate is a regressive tax. President Trump will be pushing the GOP tax bill today as well. He will address House Republicans before that expected vote. More women speaking out against Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore. Police in Baltimore searching for a suspect after an 18-year veteran of the Baltimore Police Department was shot in the head, that officer on full life support. An unexpected rise in first-time jobless claims may signal a tightening in the labor market. Labor Department today saying initial claims for unemployment benefits was up by about 10,000. AT&T customers around the country are being told to reboot their cell phones, including here in Chicago. Hundreds of thousands of AT&T users in L.A., New York, Chicago, and St. Louis were unable to use their phones to make calls yesterday. And again, AT&T says simply restart your device. Authorities are searching for a missing Mokina woman. Will County sheriffs say Caitlin Kearns was last seen Monday leaving her job at a bar in Joliet. Blackhawks beat the Rangers 6-3 last night. Artem Anisimov notching a hat trick in the win. Bulls looked a little bit on the dreadful side, falling to the Thunder 92-79. College football here on AM 560. Our NIU Huskies now 8-3 with a 35-31 win over Western Michigan. The news, a service of Office Depot Office Max. You've been taking care of business all year, so let Office Depot Office Max take care of you. Treat yourself to great deals on tech and furniture like maybe a new laptop or replace that squeaky chair. You deserve it. Office Depot Office Max, taking care of business. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer gives you multiple quote options, so you can pick what's right for you. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Celebrate the Season of Audi sales event with a beautiful new Audi from Continental Audi of Naperville. Purchase or lease a new Audi during the event and we'll make your first payment of $600 to $1,300. How's that for spreading holiday cheer? With over 180 new vehicles in stock, we have the perfect Audi for you. Stop by for your best test drive ever and feel the sure-footed all-wheel drive performance of Audi Quattro on our exclusive Naperville test track. The 2018 Audi Q3 is an agile crossover with innovative technology, and it's available for 1.9% financing plus $1,500 of bonus cash. And don't forget, we'll make your first payment. Visit us at ContinentalAudi.com or in our Naperville showroom at Aurora and Ogden Avenues. Experience the Continental difference, where smiles are standard equipment. On select new Audi models, when you lease or finance with AFS, payments between $600 and $1,300, 1.9% for 66 months on 2018 Q3 models with approved credit. $1,625 per thousand finance with zero down for 66 months, expires 1/2/18.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Gina Labus, President and CEO of Mid-States Glass and Metal and a customer of Signature Bank since 2011. As we expanded our business into all aspects of the glass and metal industry, we needed a bank who could grow along with us. That's when we met Mick O'Rourke, co-founder of Signature Bank. Mick and his team took the time to understand the ebbs and flows of our business. They worked with us to find a solution that would support our growth. Mid-States Glass and Metal is proud to work with Signature Bank because they support Chicagoland women-owned businesses like mine.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
8:36. Let's get an update on that morning commute. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, in for Jim, here's Dominic Fortini.
Very minor improvements both directions of the Kennedy, but still heavy on the inbound side between Nagel and the Burn Circle. 56 minutes in from O'Hare, 38 in from the Junction, 36 in the inbound express. Outbound, still heavy from Fullerton to Harlem on the west end, but a much more manageable 21 minutes downtown to Montrose and 39 out to O'Hare. Inbound Ike, no improvement at all. An hour 7 in from Route 390 into the downtown area. Inbound Stevenson heavy from First Avenue into the Ryan. It's an hour 6 in from 355. Inbound I-57 on the brakes at 119th. Still seeing slowdown southbound Lakeshore between Bryn Mawr and North Avenue. Heavy northbound Tri-State Ridgeland to 31st. Meanwhile, you're slowing up northbound 355 between Bowden and the Reagan, and then again between Butterfield and 290. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A breezy day ahead, much cooler with a high only of 41. Currently 34. Next news at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MJ Miller & Company Jewelers. See their dazzling display of diamonds for yourself at MJ Miller Jewelers in downtown Barrington.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, after the sugar tax that was imposed and subsequently repealed, there was a bit of a revolt, and Queen Sugar, as she is now forever known, went from being seemingly politically invulnerable to very vulnerable. And it's drawn a primary challenge former Chicago Alderman Bob Fioretti challenging Toni Preckwinkle for the Democrat nomination for Cook County Board President. And Mr. Fioretti joins us now. Bob, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Great to be here this morning.
So the basis for your primary challenge against Preckwinkle, is it just the sugar tax, or are there other issues?
Oh, no, I think there's a whole host of issues over the last 8 years. I mean, 8 years ago, I think the voters of Cook County voted for one thing and we got another. And we have learned here that in Cook County, a penny saved is not a penny earned, it's a penny taxed. And the senseless taxes are driving people and small businesses out of Cook County at a rapid pace, not just to other counties, but to other states.
So not only do we have to probably increase revenue, but we have to cut spending, and no one seems to care about cutting spending on a state level or even the county level, correct?
I agree with you, Amy. I think that Cook County has a budget that does not need any increase in taxes. This is the first time, I think, in 8 years the reformers have looked at the budget and instead of increasing taxes, they have now tightened the belt a bit to create spending within the limits. We need a government that can live within its means and quit taxing people out of this county, and they should be inviting people here.
Do you have interesting in this primary challenge, you have a little bit of the problem that Republicans have in Cook County, which is you have to overcome the intransigence of racial politics in Chicago and Cook County. Obviously, Toni Preckwinkle, an African-American female. You're not. How do you do that?
Well, I think I'm going to go out to all segments of this county and campaign hard and talk about what the issues are. That people ought to have people ought to be able to shop in their areas that they live in and that they work in. It's crazy at this point. We have created a budget that is so out of control, both on the county, city, and state levels, that it's almost not sustainable. But we need people that have rational approaches to come in and start taming these beasts at this point.
Remember when you ran for mayor, though, a while ago? Didn't you get some pushback from Mayor Emanuel? I mean, but you were still an alderman, I think, and you had gone to a school opening or something, and they had given you a tour of the building and locked you in a room upstairs, something crazy like that, remember?
I actually was the one who helped build that school, and from the start. And, of course, the powers that be try to take all the credit and don't, especially this one over there on the 5th floor. And it is, yes, not only did they lock me out, but they tried to direct me into different areas of the school in terms of what was happening. You have to consider the source, and you have to laugh at some of these politicians and what they do.
Well, we're glad you escaped from that school. Congratulations on that. A big issue, a particular issue of focus for me, the highest property taxes in the nation in Illinois, and that's certainly being felt throughout Cook County, particularly in suburban Cook, but throughout Cook County, even though commercial subsidizes residential in Cook County. What about Joe Barrios, the assessor? What about the mysticism behind the Cook County property tax classification system, and what should be done so that, number one, you have an opportunity for home ownership in some of the poor neighborhoods and communities around Cook County that pay the highest property taxes as a percentage of home value, and what can be done to reduce the overall tax burden for middle-income families who are and frankly all families, but particularly middle-income families who are seeing their home equity stripped out of their home.
First of all, I agree with you. I think the Preckwinkle-Barrios hold on the Democratic Party and on the tax structure has created this. We know what happens. It's the same politicians that are having the same type of property tax appeal system where the downtown area, let's look at the Willis Tower. What did it sell for? About $1.2 billion, and it's assessed at half that rate. Who pays for it? The people in the communities and downtowns throughout the county are here pay for that mismanagement. They formed a commission, in May? It hasn't even taken off. And that commission was formed by who? The Cook County Board President, my opponent here in this race, and they haven't done anything on it. If we're going to start for true home ownership, we've got to reform this whole property tax system structure now.
So are you going to campaign on reducing property taxes?
Well, I think once you make it fair and equitable, it does become, you do have a reduced property tax, yes.
Yeah, and this is getting international attention, the property tax system and the how the machine is financed in Cook County. There was a piece in The Economist.
The Economist,
yeah,
right.
Just this weekend. And so one of the things they point out is Joe Barrios, who is not exactly a household name. I mean, it is for people inside the political bubble, but not generally. But despite that, gosh, why is he so successful as a fundraiser? I wonder. They documented him raising $5 million for his campaign fund over the last several years. He's got $1.6 million on hand for his reelection campaign to an office that most people don't pay attention to or even understands exists, other than vis-a-vis their property tax bills, Cook County assessor.
Well, I think, we could talk about campaign finance reform. That's one of the areas. I remember a property tax lawyer telling me that he paid over $125,000 through he and his firm and firm members, who all they do is property tax work to Joe Barrios' campaign. I mean, we have to look at what's happening here and how many are the same. I mean, it's the same people that are running the same things between Preckwinkle, Barrios, Rauner. They're all related. It's all for their own business interests and not for the interests of the people.
What about Burke and Madigan? Because you're going to have to take them on if you take on the property tax system.
Well, they're all part of it. Let's face facts.
So you're willing to do that is my question.
And what happens here? It's all a system of helping each other here, and it's not helping the people who need it the most. I mean, in 2006, I think some of you may recall that I campaigned against this type of property system. Why do we have to appeal our property taxes every time we get a bill? I mean, it's unheard of. And who benefits but the internal insiders, the law firms, and the people who are the inside clique. And people know the insiders haven't been for me.
Well, that's true. But what about Mike Madigan? Doesn't he set the property tax code, and then he owns a company where he reduces property taxes to Fortune 500 companies?
I have to agree.
So, I mean, that just seems illegal.
We have to look at the conflict of interest of our legislators, not just on the state level, but on the city level and county level, and who's doing what to whom. When we have a system that is based on this most unfair, unjust way to fund education here in this state and to fund the government. It's unfathomable that they can keep doing this kind of conflict of interest here.
One other structural infirmity one of the other structural infirmities you'll face as Cook County Board President is, of course, dealing with salaries and pensions for Cook County employees. How do you plan to deal with the public sector unions to address the unfunded pension liabilities, the unfinanceable, really, pension benefits that are conferred to Cook County employees?
Well, I am looking at some of the recommendations. I think we all need to sit down. We have to take a look at what these contracts are. I mean, when you cut a deal with the unions so you can be reelected, you have betrayed the people of the county. And that's what happened on many of the contracts that were signed recently. And when she took over on some of the things away from the sheriff's office and signed those contracts, again, this is the type of system that all you're doing is to get reelected, to help your own pocketbook, your campaign book, and so you can get your so-called message out and not represent the people. It's unacceptable. There are a lot of recommendations that we can do in terms of downsizing and right-sizing government that we better start looking at, because we're not going to last under this system.
What are we going to do with the old Cook County Hospital? Going to turn it into a casino or something?
Casinos are not the end-all, the be-all, and don't forget, they're going to. A lot of those legislators that have casinos in their districts would be fighting to make sure that does not happen. Yeah. But there are a lot of aims. That property has been vacant for so long.
Throw marijuana in there or something.
And we ought to start marketing it right now.
We can turn it into condos.
If the county doesn't have the ability to deal with it.
All right. Bob Fioretti, where can people get more information about your campaign website?
It's at bobforcookcounty.com, and we have a lot going, and whatever help they can provide would be great.
Well, you got my vote.
Bob for well,
So don't mess this up,
You got to
Bob.
vote in a Democrat primary, though. That's the only.
I know. I can pull a Democratic
Well,
ballot.
you sure you can. You're a free citizen.
Thank you, Dan.
Bob for Cook County. BobForCookCounty.com, right? That's the website.
Yes.
BobForCookCounty.com. Bob Fioretti, candidate in the Democrat primary against Tony Preckwinkle for Cook County Board President. Bob, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
And then you're going to look up my voting record and say, Amy pulled the Democratic ballot in the primary.
And then we'll never speak again.
And then it'll be over. Coming up next, a Chicago dog has a sex change operation. Oh, yeah, that's true. Wait till you hear how much it costs. But first, here's your forecast. Breezy, cloudy, just a kind of a raw fall day, a high of 41 degrees. Into the alarm detection systems we go. Dominic Fortini in for Jimmy Talamonte. Huh?
Inbound side of the Kennedy hung up still. Nagel into the Burns Circle. A 56-minute drive from O'Hare to downtown. 38 in from the junction. 36 in the inbound express lanes. A tad better on the outbound side. Just some slowdowns between Fullerton and Harlem on the west end. 21 minutes downtown to Montrose. 39 out to O'Hare. It's an hour 7 from Route 390 to downtown on the inbound side of the Eisenhower. Brake lights on the outbound side begin near Austin. Inbound Stevenson, 54 minutes in from 355. Inbound Ryan struggles near 43rd. Northbound Lakeshore, double-digit slowdowns from the Stevenson into Jackson. Also still seeing those elevated travel times on the northbound side of the tri-state. Heavy and stop and go between Ridgeland and 31st. Traffic answers when you need them the most. I'm Dominic Fortini on AM 560, The Answer.
Ever since I was little, I imagined owning a bakery. With hard work, I made it happen. But after this weekend's robbery, I realized that I need to protect my dream with security.
I've got a great answer for you. Alarm Detection Systems, your local family-owned business, understands the threats you might face. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 and find out how we can protect you. License number 127000143.
I manage a construction site, and the other morning we had to send half of the crew home because of missing equipment. This nonsense is cutting into my time and budget.
Here's what you need to know. Alarm Detection Systems offers mobile security solutions that expand with your project. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 to find out about our alarm and video protection. License number 127000143.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have a $1,200 knee brace because I have bone on bone in my left knee, and I have a torn cartilage in my right knee. And since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I don't wear my brace, and I can walk without pain. It's I have these copper things I used to put on my knees. I don't use those either. I don't use anything. I think it's just wonderful.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Order today.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. America's strength is that she's a free nation. Our weakness is we've stopped defending the foundations of our freedom. Non-behavioral characteristics like race and religion take precedence over shared beliefs as it relates to who is granted entrance to America, to the extent permission is required at all. This in spite of the fact that there is plenty of identity diversity that occurs naturally within a global population that shares a common commitment to peaceful pluralism. The temperature in K-12 is approaching Fahrenheit 451 as school districts move to ban literary masterworks like To Kill a Mockingbird because the language may offend. A recent survey of college undergrads finds 1 in 5 believes violence is acceptable to silence someone who makes a hurtful statement. Private property is seized by the state if you refuse to participate in events that violate your religious beliefs. You make too little, you make too much, you don't pay enough, you didn't build that, You need not apply. You must check your privilege. You must use these pronouns. You can't use those words. As Thomas Paine wrote, what we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. If we continue to acquiesce to those who would cheapen our freedoms, we will all pay dearly.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Have pain you can't ignore? Then try first-in-class relief from Salonpas. Salonpas pain relief patches have everything you need in one clinically proven solution. They're the strongest label pain reliever available without a prescription, safely relieving pain for up to 12 hours. And Salonpas is the first and only FDA-approved OTC topical pain reliever. For first-in-class relief, get Salonpas pain relief patches in the green box with a blue wave.
Savings based on 2-year protection plan compared to T-Mobile premium device protection as of July 12, 2017. Square Trade does not cover lost or stolen items. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting a new phone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So, protecting your phone is a smart idea. But phone insurance through your wireless carrier can cost as much as $15 every month. Switch to Square Trade phone protection instead, for half the cost of insurance through your wireless carrier. And you could save $200 or more. It's like protecting 2 phones for the price of 1. Square Trade covers accidents like drops and spills with easy same-day repair options. Part of the Allstate family, we're trusted by over 30 million customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. And switching to Square Trade is easy. How else can you save $200 in 10 minutes? So don't wait. Switch today.
Switch to Square Trade now and you can save over $200. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. All right, Dan, this happened in Chicago, and no one can believe it. It's the first of its kind. A dog got a sex change operation to save its life.
They're not disposable to us, and if we have the option to save them, we're going to do it.
So without the operation, he would have died.
If the procedure wasn't done, he would have died.
Yeah, do you hear that?
Well, he had stones in his bladder and his pee-pee.
And his penis.
Yeah.
So in order for him to live, because he couldn't they couldn't remove the stones, surgeons spent hours removing his penis.
Ouch.
Because,
it's making me uncomfortable.
Well, this is what the dog's name. It's a 7-year-old
dog named Bishop, and now he has a new name. Now, guess what his new name is? Bishy, and he sounds like this.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You know what he's trying to say? He's trying to say, "Kill me, please, kill me."
No, so now
why did you do this to me?
Well, now
please.
He didn't get a uterus or a vajayjay, but what he happens to do now, dogs pee in one direction and female dogs pee in the other.
Basically, you're rerouting the entire system of the dog. So a dog that would pee normally forward is now peeing backwards.
Yeah, Dan, the anatomy of a dog.
What's his name again now? Chastity Bono?
No, his name was Bishop. Now it's Bishy, and she's coming under fire, this woman, because the dog operation, the sex change operation, not cheap, $7,000.
It's enraging and it's heartbreaking because you instantly get so mad because people like that don't have that understanding. I urge them to get involved with the rescue.
Because she came under fire by people saying, how in the world can you spend $7,000 to save a dog?
If that happened to me, I would want to be put to sleep.
Now Bishy.
Oh my God! Bishy, stop, please.
She has one more surgery to go, and then after that, the rescue hopes to find him a home. And I think Dan Proft and Hayek would be a perfect place to go.
Yeah, but Bishy would have penis envy from Hayek.
Thanks for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick and Keith Conrad, our executive producer. We're back here tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Now into the newsroom we go. Stop squirming around, Mike. Here is Mike Scott.
I think my appendectomy might have been cheaper. 34 degrees, cloudy skies. Prosecutors this morning dismissing convictions at the Cook County Criminal Courts building. We'll tell you why. WIND Chicago News Time.